young storyteller, WVON.
Welcome everybody. We're broadcasting live from the 117th NAACP convention. We the People is the time. You know, we were talking about this last week and why this convention is important. Black institutions are important. Black culture is important. We see Black culture and Black institutions being defunded, being attacked by the world. I don't want to get political, but we need to make sure that the hard work that our ancestors put in to make sure that Black people are going to be relevant, significant, and getting an equal share of opportunity in the world. NAACP is the epitome of that effort and that hard work. So we're here to celebrate that hard work and to also make sure that the legacy is passed down. You know, when you walk around an event like this, I don't care if it's NAACP, Urban League, when you walk around, you want to see young people around, and hopefully they are grasping the history and the legacy of not only institutions like this, but of Black people in this country that never got an opportunity to see what the work that was put in has created. We want to hear the voices from young people who are going to be the next leaders of the NAACP, of the Urban League, of your political district, your congressional district, your city, your municipality, supporting institutions like the NAACP, supporting WVON radio stations. Black media is under attack, guys. We have to make sure that we are participating in a very strong way to make sure that Black culture not only exists, but that it thrives. And that's why we're here today. Haley Bond in the house. Haley and I are going to share the microphone. I didn't want to be out here alone, so I told Haley to come and hang out with us. And Haley, we got two amazing guests to start off. Everybody knows Troy Pryor. Troy throws one of the biggest film festivals. And get close to the mic, guys, when you talk. The XL Film Fest and Creative Cypher, Troy has been creating his own institution, as we talk about the NAACP, but somebody who has been dedicated and committed to the same mission: Black culture, Black voices, Black arts, right? Black film. And I don't even get to say Black, but film, American film that expresses Black culture and just the lives of Americans, whether you're Black, white, or no matter what you are. Creating opportunities for people that want to work in this amazing industry, whether it's in front of the camera, behind the camera, or even as investors, because I mean, it is show business. It is the entertainment. I mean, is that a good way to put it, Troy?
It absolutely is. So first of all, I appreciate you having us on. This is a blessing to be here. It's always an honor to come and share the stage with talented brothers like Imay here. I appreciate you for being part of the conversation later today, man. Imay was a part of the festival last year, and it's just a blessing to watch watch the Ebony Canal and its journey. And like you said, it's so important for us to own our own platforms and build our own, because if we don't control our narrative, someone else does.
Brother, and I say that all the time in politics. You do not control your narrative, somebody else will. And then once you've lost it, you've lost it. You cannot get back in politics, right? These narratives are important. Brother, he busted me out. He's like, man, what's up? He's like, you don't remember me? And of course, I'm so ADHD. What's going on, brother?
No, it's a wonderful, wonderful opportunity to be here in Chicago at the NAACP convention. There's so much legacy behind these 117 years. And for the Ebony Canal to be a part of that 107th year scores volumes on what we do as storytellers. So big shout out to Troy for giving us an opportunity and a platform to show the Ebony Canal, which is an incredible film about Black maternal and infant health, narrated by Viola Davis, featuring Tina Knowles, Mama Knowles Best, if you will. So to be here is just absolutely incredible, and we can't wait for individuals to see this film at 4 o'clock, moderated by Troy from the XL Film Festival. We just want this to be a real family event. But we also want to go home with a mission, not just come to a conference to, join all the after parties and things of that nature, but what are we really going to do after this convention to change the world?
You know what's interesting too, man, because you were talking about how much of an honor and a pleasure it is for you to be here.
Yes.
It's equally as important to this convention that you're here and that Troy is.
Thank you.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And
it's reciprocal.
It's reciprocal, brother. And in fact, this is the way we survive, right? We were talking about George Johnson, who passed away, and we laid this amazing businessman to rest on Friday here in Chicago. And the stories that just came out over these last couple of weeks, and Haley was in the studio with me as we were talking about it, was all about brotherhood, man.
Yeah.
It was all about this. George Johnson got started. He was a disciple of S.B. Fuller, who was this amazing businessman.
Wow.
Hair grooming, black grooming.
Wow.
He was kind of like the male version of Madam C.J. Walker,
Okay.
right? And he put people out in the streets, black men out in the streets with their little suitcase and their kid.
Of course. Of course.
That's how George Johnson was one of the many S.B. Fuller
Wow.
disciples, right? And he was talking about how he left S.B. Fuller, started his own thing. His first warehouse or manufacturing plant got burned down. S.B. Fuller gave him the money to rebuild. Get it going, brother. Don't miss a beat.
Yeah, that's teamwork.
You talk about catching somebody, ain't let you hit the ground.
Yeah.
And that's valuable. Like the level of success that we continue to strive for is impossible solo.
Yeah.
It's not a solo
It is.
act. You've got to have that brotherhood, that sisterhood. You've got to work together to build.
And the thing is that, the XL Film Festival gave us that opportunity. We didn't know how far we could go. At the XL Film Festival, we went on to win 2 anthems, 5 Ellys, 3 Webbies, 2 Emmys,
Right.
and the NAACP Image Award for Best Documentary.
That's right.
And it's the first maternal health documentary to win in 57 years.
All right, let's take a quick break and come back. The quickest break that we can take. And come back. I want you to tell us about the Ebony Canal.
Let's do it.
And get it going, and so that people can come here to the convention, 4 o'clock.
Absolutely, 4
Screening
o'clock.
And moderating.
And there's a panel discussion right out. Yep.
Putting his narrative on it. Well, he's going to be putting your narrative on it, right?
I'm just throwing Ali.
It's ours. It's ours.
All right, quick break here. We'll be right back at the 117 NAACP National Convention live in Chicago. Get down there. It's nothing but black love, black culture, black history on display. And the only thing that's missing is you. We'll be right back after this. You're listening to the Matt McGill Show.
More from Matt McGill coming up on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
Shop small with Wintrust Bank and celebrate the heart of our community, our local businesses. Listen as we share a list of small businesses throughout our community that we can shop, dine, and support throughout the year. These businesses are the economic engine that drives our neighborhoods. Wintrust knows that. That's why they're Chicago's bank and why they're encouraging you to shop local. Keep listening for the Wintrust Community Business Spotlight campaign. With Wintrust, shopping small is a big deal. Some people wait for the future, others build it. WVON proudly presents the 2026 40 Game Changers Under 40. This year, it's a compass celebrating the navigators of next. Do you know an entrepreneur, community change agent, rising executive, educator, innovator, or a creator who is 40 or under and doing great work to help shape the future of Chicago? Or is that someone here? Now through July 17th, we're taking nominations. Visit 40gamechangers.com to submit your nominee. And then keep listening for updates on this year's exciting celebration. In 2026, our compass is on the navigators of next, because Chicago's future belongs to the people bold enough to lead it. Sponsored by BMO.
Someone had a birthday.
Yep, 50. Can't believe it.
50 years of wisdom.
Great segue. We have a health reminder from the CDC.
Pneumococcal vaccination is recommended for adults 50 or older. Says here, we're over 6 times more likely to be hospitalized with pneumococcal pneumonia than adults under 50.
I don't love those odds.
Same. Look what I found. Pfizer's Prevnar 20 is proven to help protect adults against pneumococcal pneumonia and invasive pneumococcal disease in just 1 dose, and millions have already gotten it.
Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you have a severe allergy to its ingredients. A weakened immune system may lower your response. Common side effects include injection site pain and swelling, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138. Visit Prevnar20.com or talk to your doctor or pharmacist. I'm on Prevnar20.com now, scheduling my appointment.
Good idea. And happy 50th. It's the afternoon show.
But you gotta remember, when we do it, it's called food out. Girl, he flew me out.
Oh, don't put our people down.
No, that's what we call it. That's what it is.
Al, you've had this conversation.
I flew people out.
You flew people, flown people out, and you got me saying it.
Somebody telling me, you flew me out? No, I'm not flying you nowhere after you just did that. I'm not sure. I said I was about to. Until you said that.
Right.
The afternoon show on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON. Now back to Matt McGill on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
Something without one love. Best never your mind.
I just said just because.
All right, we're back. Broadcasting live from the McCormick Place, guys. It's the 117th annual NAACP convention. Of course, a lot of very dedicated to the culture people are in Chicago, here to celebrate the legacy of this institution, here to do everything I talked about in this first segment, maintain the legacy of this amazing institution. Film and art is part of that NAACP. Image Awards, of course, have become an institution on its own, celebrating Black artists and culture all together. We're going to see a film today later on. My brother Troy Pryor in the house, Chicago, well represented, Creative Cipher. XL Film Fest is going to be happening. We need to get people there for that as well.
Absolutely. August 20th through the 23rd in Chicago. You all come out. Go to xlfest.org.
And it's an amazing film festival last year. It's going to be the same place you still.
We got a couple of venues. Millennium Park. We are now also at the Obama Presidential Center as well. So we're making history.
Okay. My daughter works there, man. She probably hooked it up for you.
She may have. Well, tell her thank you.
But you know, just a beautiful facility there, man. And the location, really in location where we were last year.
Yeah,
The Obama Center is right there on that strip, man.
really, really nice, right in that same area. Park your car and you're all good.
Just walk around the campus. It's beautiful. Even if you don't have tickets, I'm encouraging people, get out to Obama Center. Even if you don't have tickets to the events, the ticketed events, walk around the campus and you can experience this historic presidential center. And it absolutely, the energy out there is just so good, man. People from all over the country out there DJing and dancing and just celebrating, taking pictures, man.
There was some brothers doing yoga out there the other
Were they
day.
really?
Yeah,
Is that right?
I love it. I love it.
Iman.
Amen.
Iman. I'm
Yes.
sorry.
No, it's all
How
good.
do you say your last name?
Alaquiva. Ime Alaquiva. Poem.
Director?
Cinematic poet.
Documentarian?
Cinematic poet.
I love that, brother.
You know what I'm saying?
How did you get started in film?
I got started in film because I tried to hire a few students from some prestigious colleges that knew all the technicals, but they didn't know how to tell, you know, the real story behind the soul. So I bought a camera from Best Buy, put a lens on it, and never looked back.
And you know, you have so many tools to use nowadays. I've got on my iPad something called Switcher app. And I never opened it up. I opened it up the other day and realized, this is a television. I could be doing a podcast and switching camera to camera with iPhone. And
You already know.
I mean, to make a film today, really, man, access tools that are out there, man, are better than they ever have been.
Yes.
And that's got to be inspiring, man, to you and you as well, Troy.
It's inspiring, but also it's a crutch. You know, I don't like crutches. You know, if I could walk, I'm gonna walk. The film that I did, The Ebony Canal, I worked on it for 2 years. And it's a film that really covers the hurt, the healing, but also the hope of when it comes to maternal and infant health. We follow 4 women inspired by the song by Nina Simone called 4 Women. So we started from conception, the entire 9 months, all the way to the child's very first birthday. Because Black women are dying 3 times that of their white counterparts. Black babies are dying before the age of 1, 2.5 times that of their white counterparts, and 84% of this is preventable. So as a Black man, a Black son, a Black father, a Black husband, I saw something and wanted to do something about it. So I got some of my friends on deck, Viola Davis, Vice President Kamala Harris, Miss Tina Knowles, and some others, to put together a film that will last for generations.
You may we were talking about, you know, the legacy and the mission of the NAACP convention here
Yes.
collectively, but when you think about Ebony Canal and you think about the mission that you want to convey and that you want your audience to walk away with, what is that mission? How do you see that?
Well, the mission of this film is to not just be a film, it's a fight. It's not just a movie, it's a movement. So when you put that intentionality on the storytelling in this platform of storytelling that we did, this literally could last for generations after us. I have a 14-year-old daughter, and I want my grandchildren, my great-grandchildren to say, what did my great-grandpops do in order to change the trajectory when it comes to culture shifting? That's what I want to be able to present to them. Because the NAACP for 117 years has been changing the culture. And we just added a film on that.
Yeah, but it's not
This topic, man, is a historic topic. I mean, you're bringing light to a modern version of this.
Sure, I don't know how you
Yes,
can talk like
imagine
that.
what Ebony Canal would have been like if somebody had done it 40 years ago.
No, but I mean, these are facts, and there hasn't been many films on maternal and infant health. It's been quite varied. When we started our research, we really didn't have a lot of things to really have a blueprint for us, so we created a blueprint. We didn't want to just create something that you watched once. We want to create something that you can watch over and over and over again and get something out of it. Because there's 3 pillars that are the mission of this storytelling. We want education, we want policy change, and we want advocacy. It took all of us to get into this mess. It's going to take all of us to get out of it. And we want people to see the film today at 4 o'clock here at the convention.
I love it. The next project you were teasing us with?
next project I was teasing you with, I'll let y'all know. Follow me on Instagram.
Okay,
You know,
okay.
that was a little bit of inside
Okay,
baseball,
all right,
but I
okay.
love everybody listening to our
That's why I
voices
threw it
right
up
now.
that way.
Yes.
That's what exactly what. Follow on Instagram.
Follow us on Instagram, the Ebony Canal on Instagram, and also send any notes, share your story, and also you can follow me at Ime Alaquiva on Instagram. That's EMMAI_ALAQUIVA. But most importantly, everybody listening out there, I want to meet you today at 4 p.m.
Well, love it. Get here and see this important film about us, guys. Troy Pryor, give out all the info for XL Fest.
Yes, sir. Thanks for having us again. What's up, Chicago? XL Fest. You can follow us on IG at XL Film Festival. You can also follow the company at Creative Cypher or go to xlfest.org. You can see the whole lineup, everything that we got coming up, and we got some other things we'll be announcing soon. See you all at 4 o'clock.
And as eBay said, equally important, guys, we are here in Chicago, the host city for XL Fest. We've got to support it, attend, show the film industry how serious we are, because this brother is putting a lot of blood, sweat, and tears in his neck out there.
That's
saying
right, he does.
Chicago is going to
He
deliver.
does.
Watch, y'all got to come. This brother has to convince Hollywood, bring the people to Chicago.
Yes.
Bring the celebrities to Chicago. Bring the executives here to this festival. This is the heart of America. This is where the real stories are being told. You don't want to miss out on the next best story that can be told here. We need your support, Hollywood. We've got to do our part, man, and support XL Fest. Brother, I love you. Troy, you my man. Thank you so much.
We thank you, man. Thank you for your voice, man. We appreciate your championship.
Thank you for telling our story, man. I know from black women all over the world, brother, Ebony Canal is their story. Boom. Thank you. All right, we'll take a break here. We'll be back. 117th NAACP Convention, National Convention. You're listening to the Matt McGill Show.
Mild and hazy today with a high of 86. Good afternoon. I'm Kayla Patton, and here's what's happening. Well, the 117th NAACP National Convention is underway today at Chicago's McCormick Place, where WVON's own Matt McGill is broadcasting live. Thousands of civil rights and thought leaders are there. This year's theme is We the People, which is intentional because the convention is happening 4 months before the midterm elections and during America's 250th year. Perry Williams has more.
J.B. Prisker was the keynote speaker during yesterday's session.
I believe deeply in the mission of fighting for political, educational, social, and economic equality of rights for all persons and to eliminate race-based discrimination in this country.
This year's theme is We the People, with discussions focused on voting rights and encouraging younger voters. The NAACP convention continues through Wednesday. I'm Perry Williams.
The city is in the midst of a major policy fight over new tenant protections. The battle is center stage today at City Hall with 2 competing proposals that will shape the future of the city's rental laws. Mayor Brandon Johnson's proposal would set up new tenant protections by creating a tenant bill of rights, require just cause for evictions, provide relocation assistance, and mandate a citywide rental registry. However, Chicago's Fair Ordinance Plan, established by Alderman Anthony Cazeta and Alderman Gilbert Villegas and others within the Budget Accountability Coalition, will not make landlords explain evictions, and it would remove the mayor's proposed relocation fees. The fight could go to the full Chicago City Council for a vote this fall. Well, Mississippi teenager Nolan Wells is being remembered today by his family and civil rights leaders at a church in his hometown of Ocean Springs, Mississippi. The funeral will be officiated by Reverend Al Sharpton with a call to justice delivered by the family's lawyer, Ben Crum, a prominent civil rights attorney, with Tyler Perry paying for funeral costs. The 18-year-old went missing on the 4th of July after going on a boat trip with his high school friends to Warren Island, just south of Ocean Springs, Mississippi. Authorities believe the college football player drowned and did not suspect foul play, but investigators are working diligently to determine exactly what occurred. Wells' death has captured national attention. And the annual Chicago Gospel Fest is making a return, and WVON's very own gospel sister, Pam Morris-Walton, will be honored by Mayor Brandon Johnson. For more than 40 years, she has shared faith, hope, and inspiration with Chicago, and now the entire city will get to celebrate her. The fest will also feature a star-studded roster of talent at the Jay Prisker Pavilion in Millennium Park. This year's festival features headlining performances from Hezekiah Walker and Love Fellowship Choir, Ricky Dillard, and Tasha Cobbs Leonard. The fest begins Friday, July 24th and continues to Saturday, July 25th. That's a look at our news now on 1690 WVON. I'm Kayla Patton.
Dreaming of owning a home? Fifth Third Bank is here to help get you there. Our down payment assistance program has opened doors for families across Chicago. Whether you're buying your first home or planning for the future, we guide you every step of the way. Because at Fifth Third, we believe homeownership builds stronger communities. This is banking a Fifth Third better. Visit 53.com to learn more. That's 53.com. Fifth Third Bank, National Association, member FDIC.
This place has a pulse. You hear it in the canopy, feel it in the ground. Life, fully illuminated in gold. From the birds singing in the treetops above to the tiniest insects in the soil below. You take a deep, cleansing breath, filling your lungs with the essence of the forest. Now, imagine it's all gone. Healthy, life-giving forests, reduced to nothing. No singing birds, no lush canopy, and watered food in short supply around the world. Time is running out to protect our forests, and without our love, they can and will disappear. It's our choice. Love it or lose it. Help protect our forests. Visit World Wildlife Fund at wwf.org/love.
Don't act like that. Don't wear that. Don't think that. I've heard everything you tell yourself every time you feel different. And I want you to know that taking care of your mind is taking care of everyone you love and who loves you. That you can be vulnerable and powerful. That you can be more connected and resilient. That taking care of me makes us stronger. Love your mind. Our mental health resources at loveyourmindtoday.org.
A new episode of Mama I Made It is here. This month, award-winning journalist Samantha Chaplin sits down with Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker for a candid conversation about leadership, public service, and the issues shaping the future of our state. From the challenges of governing to the people and experiences that have shaped his journey, this is a side of the governor you won't want to miss. Stream the new episode of Mama I Made It only on Vaughn TV, available on Roku, Amazon Fire, Apple TV, the WVON app, and at VON.TV. In July, Vaughn TV has your summer watch list covered. Go behind the headlines with the official launch of Portraits in Color, featuring candid conversations with music executive Matthew Knowles, community leader Jotaka Edie, and actress Danielle Truitt.
My family's very proud. It was very cool to, when the show first came out, to see myself in those credits, We're like, that's me. That's crazy, It is very cool to be a part of the legacy of Law & Order now.
And that's just the beginning. Premiering this month, Serenity, Strength, and Style with Sylvia Ewing and friends. A fresh new series featuring inspiring conversations about health, wellness, creativity, and living life to the fullest. This July, there's something for everyone on Vaughn TV. Watch on Roku, Amazon Fire, Apple TV Plus, the WVON app, or at Vaughn.tv. Vaughn TV, for the culture, by the culture.
Someone had a birthday.
Yep, 50. Can't believe it.
50 years of wisdom.
Great segue. We have a health reminder from the CDC.
Pneumococcal vaccination is recommended for adults 50 or older. Says here, we're over 6 times more likely to be hospitalized with pneumococcal pneumonia than adults under 50.
I don't love those odds.
Same. Look what I found. Pfizer's Prevnar 20 is proven to help protect adults against pneumococcal pneumonia and invasive pneumococcal disease in just one dose. And millions delegates have already gotten.
Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you have a severe allergy to its ingredients. A weakened immune system may lower your response. Common side effects include injection site pain and swelling, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138. Visit Prevnar20.com or talk to your doctor or pharmacist. I'm on Prevnar20.com now, scheduling my appointment.
Good idea. And happy 50th. Hey Alexa, play WVON 1690 AM.
Getting WVON 1690 AM station from iHeartRadio.
Try it out for yourself. America is listening to WVON. Now back to Matt McGill on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
All right, guys, we're back broadcasting live from the NAACP National Convention. Right now, we have the president and CEO of the NAACP, Derek Johnson, on with us. President Johnson, welcome back to WVON. It's been a while since I've had you on. Congratulations, number one, on the convention, and speak to why supporting and celebrating our Black institutions is so important, especially today.
I just gave my speech, and I said, we all we have. So we don't support each other, who else will? In this moment, we have to combine our resources to push back against an administration and a climate that's trying to erase our identity, our presence, and our ability to not only survive, but to prosper. And so we have to support all of our institutions. We have to get away from the scarcity mentality and lean into each other to empower each other.
You know, I think this is going to be a moment. I don't know if people realize when they're living in actual moments. I think we're living in a moment where, 50 years from now, 30 years from now, 20 years from now, Black adults are going to be looking back and saying, all right, we see what was happening from the administration. Wow, that's amazing. What were we doing? How were we fighting back? What were our people doing? And we're in that moment right now, though, right?
I recall in 1992 when I was an undergrad, Rodney King happened. I thought that was the moment. And it was. I mean, I think we always are creating history every day. The real opportunity for us is how do we lean into each other to become more empowered. That's how we create history, not being reactive to the bad stuff. But this administration, they're racist to the core. They don't care about the Constitution, and they would do away with anything that get in their way to maintain domination, control, and power. It is our job to navigate around that so we don't have this occurrence again. What we're witnessing is a set of individuals who are trying to put us in a box based on 1950. We're too big for that. We won't fit, and we must resist.
Yeah, we've got people behind the scenes too that people don't know their names that are working just as hard to turn back the clock, and we really got to be focused on what's going on right now. How do when I said one of the things you want to see at a convention like this, and I do see it here, is you want to see a lot of young people, and that's really what has kind of stood out to me over the last couple of days. Just busloads of young people that are coming in and being that, because as you know, the challenges always are going to be like, Mr. President, what you doing to keep NAACP relevant? Are young people engaged? Are they focused? And we know their attention span is quick and immediate gratification. How are you able to connect with so many young people and get them here, brothers? Because they are the leaders of tomorrow, and they're going to be obviously inspired by what they feel is connecting to them today.
As an association, we have always been an intergenerational organization. I grew up through the NAACP. I can recall people saying that, and I come to the convention, it'd be, hundreds of young people that I had never met before. We have to lean into the positive narrative of what we are and get out of the deficit mindset and stop saying what we can't, won't, and shouldn't do, when in fact we're doing it. All of the history show us the most successful periods of times in our movement is when we have an intergenerational approach, the wisdom of our elders, the energy of our young people, the continuity of those who are in between age. And so we are the largest container of youth activists across the country. We have youth units, college chapters in 47 states across the country. And because of that, we continue to prosper as an organization.
And before I go to my young person that I brought on, just so that I make sure that I'm staying connected, to that point you just made, I saw this article, and I'm trying to remember all the details, which I should know because it was about Chicago. Ben Jealous did an article I think it was in the New York Times, where he talked about, I think it was you, him, at a young age, Stacey Abrams, I believe, getting mentored, and it was based on the Rainbow Beach here in Chicago and the model that was used to protest and to create change.
But we all met each other as a result of separate organizing efforts we were doing. In Mississippi, I was an undergrad at HBCU, Tougaloo College,
Okay.
And we organized students across the state to prevent the state from closing Mississippi Valley State University and merging Alcorn State with Mississippi State. And after 2 years and 8 demonstrations, we prevented the state from doing that. Ben was at Columbia and have been working on some issues around the Audubon Theater, so they wouldn't close it down. Stacy, who's from Mississippi, were at Spelman. And so we met at a conference of Black labor unionists. And from there, we all became to support each other's movement. And there were many others, in addition to Ben and Stacy, Steve Benjamin. It was a bunch of us a part of that group.
And what impressed me about the story was how you guys were steadfast focused on the legacy of the movement and the tactics and strategy and the brevity of people that came before us and what they were confronted with, and how you guys took that responsibility for what another administration, another political era was trying to do to destroy, take away Black culture, Black history, Black education, which is still under jeopardy despite some of the little superficial gifts that are given to HBCUs by administration, still under attack and still need to be tended to.
But I was blessed. I went from Detroit to Mississippi, HBCU. I had mentors who were veterans of the Civil Rights Movement. Chokwe Lumumba, Republican New Africa, was a mentor out of Detroit. I had the political acumen of Benny Thompson as a mentor, who's now a U.S. Congressman. I got involved in ACP because of Aaron Henry and the level of organizational sophistication. So I was blessed to have all of those nodes of exposure to inform how I operate now.
Hey, did you go?
Yeah, to your point, Matt, we're talking about a time when our administration is working actively to strip away the rights of Black people in our communities. The slogan for the convention this year is "We the People." What do you think is kind of the symbolism of that phrase, which we know we associate that with the Constitution, but reframing that, taking that back here today at the convention, "We the People," how does that represent in a time where our administration is working actively against many of our rights?
But the goal here is to show that we do have agency, we have power. We're not victims of other people. We are in a fight. And in fact, that fight, we're actually winning. That's why they're so aggressive in their pushback, because of the progress we've made. And so it'd be we the people to continue to excel in this moment, continue to push back, and in November, turn things around so we can be better positioned to reconstruct a democracy that more reflect our needs and interests.
Speaking of November, are you having any challenges convincing Black people, and especially young Black people, that change happens at the ballot box? Because as I look at everything that's happening to us right now in this country, right? And you've heard this over the years, electric voting, man, what is it doing? Look at our politicians, what is it doing? At the end of the day, if voting was important, they wouldn't be trying to take it away from us. They wouldn't be trying to change these voting districts and gerrymander. They wouldn't, the voting requirements that we see going on, you gotta have ID. What is the president call it, to save America, all of that stuff. If voting wasn't so important, they wouldn't be attacking it the way that they do. Are you feeling that young people are understanding that? Because historically has been some pushback on the impact of voting, and I think now more than ever we got to come out with numbers.
But it's not a young people issue; it's a people issue.
Individuals
participate at the level of their understanding and the correlation between voting, policymaker, and policy. The price of the gas pump is saying, you know what, we got to change this. The cost of things, bread and otherwise, say we got to change things. Over 600,000 Black women have lost their jobs as a result of this administration. We got to change things. Individuals participate at the level of their understanding. It is not a young people problem. You'll be shocked how many people of our age and profession who are not participating. We live in a nation that if we say 60% of the eligible voters across all communities vote, it's a high turnout. That's a dismal race, right? So we need to be talking about how do we identify, which we have done, infrequent voters and get them to the poll, and where do we need to double down on additional voter registration. I was shocked. We did an analysis of a school district, and almost 40% of the teachers were not registered to vote.
Yeah. And I tell you what, here in Chicago, I'm all about black representation matters. And look, this mayor is getting a lot of pushback from our community. And I'm the one telling our people, guys, you got to register and vote, man. Having black representation in the position of mayor of the city of Chicago, the third largest city in the country, whether you disagree with on one issue or not, that's not the issue. This is representation, and it matters. We have the registered voters in Chicago to win the election. Period. Without the money.
That's right.
Without the money.
In most communities, we all we need, we all we got. And where we double down, we win. Where we think we're hopeless and powerless, we lose. That's why we the people is the theme to say, hey, you have power, you have agency, and it's us together, not you alone.
All right. Haley, you got one more because Prez got to go.
I think what would since we're classifying this as an issue for all, what is our final lead the charge? If you were to leave our listeners with one thing, lead the charge forward.
I'll say Chicago, lead the way. You have exemplified what's possible. This is a beautiful city. Some of the richest black folks in the country live right here in Chicago.
Right. That's right.
Some of the most successful businesses right here in Chicago. And that didn't happen because a few individuals who are brilliant. It's happened because sustained organizing, whether it was Jesse Jackson or Harold Washington, whether it was the Cook County Black Democrats, whatever the case may be. Don't concede the power you have built, double down and continue to build it, and allow the rest of Black America to watch the success.
No better example than us laying to rest George Johnson this Friday. When you talk about Afro Sheen and what Johnson Products did for Soul Train, another institution, black culture, he prepaid 2 years in advance. I know you heard this story for Essence Magazine to get off the ground, right? The power that you're talking about, Mr. President, here in Chicago exists. It exists all over the country, and one of the reasons why is because of the NAACP and your leadership, brother. Thank you so much. Please give out the information so people can join their local branch, because this is about as much as it is about our activism and energy, it's also about our financial support as well. As we see in politics, we've got, I don't even have to explain it, but money matters.
They can go to a website, naacp.org, naacp.org. Join today. Thank you.
All right, President Derek Johnson, love you, brother, and thank you so much for coming to Chicago, man. Okay, all right. That story of him and Stacey Abrams and Ben Jealous and these young future leaders that we see operating today is a story I encourage you guys to look up that story. Number one, it's in the, hold on, you got to sign up. Yep. If you want a WVON bag, you got to download the WVON app. That's a good bag too. Download the WVON app and you get one of these amazing WVON bags right here. That's right. we got to be the bag police out here. Haley, they're right in front of you. So.
They are, I know.
You slap that hand down with his time, right? But the energy that has to happen is not only our physical energy, but it is really, and I hate saying this, guys, it is with money as well. We got to put some dollars out there. We look at these political campaigns and looking at these numbers. I'm looking at Alexi Janulius, and nothing against Alexi. I love Alexi, good brother. But the money that he has compared to Mayor Johnson is embarrassing right now. And there's too many of us in this city, black people. This is like President Johnson said, with money. With money. Attorney Ted London says it every Thursday. Black people have money. With money. Got money. We need to be supporting institutions like the NAACP, our political campaigns, our candidates that are out there, so that other political action committees aren't able to sneak in and use their money to buy off our politicians. That's important. We can do something about it, and we should. All right, should we take an early break and make up on the back end now? Are we good? We're still good? All right.
Matt, I just wanted to add a full circle moment. Now, we just spoke with the president of the NAACP. When I was When I was about 14 or 15, I was part of the AXO program.
Is that right?
And won
What?
first place
Look out.
in the oratorical competition. And what was even more honoring was that Harold Washington gave me my medal.
Are you kidding me?
And so to be here now with VON, this is
That
my
is
full
great.
circle moment. And so AXO has been around for a very long time. And it's a very good program for youth. And so I just want to say thank you to them because I went on to college and won every Alpha Phi Alpha oratorical competition there was. I'm part of their history.
With your bad self.
That's right. This Delta is part of their history at the University of Oklahoma. Thank
Ms.
you.
Rogers' daughter. That's how you got. That's right. One of our amazing teachers at Julian High School. That's right. That's how it goes. That's important, though. I'm glad you said that because, like I said, one of the things I noticed is a lot of young people out here over the last couple of days, a lot of young people representing. And when you look at an institution like the NAACP, one of the things you try to say to yourself, they got to stay young. They got to stay relative. They got to get young people involved. And obviously, they do. You know, we were here yesterday, and we were talking about the busloads of young people that were coming in. And it was amazing and something that we got to celebrate here. All right, we're broadcasting live, guys, from the McCormick Place, 117th NAACP National Convention. This is about Black culture, Black history, Black relevance, and Black power. Come on out. It's not too late. They're going to be here today. Tomorrow is so much to do. This is just like Black history and culture on display here. The vendors are out here with some amazing product. The book store over there that we are going to be talking about some amazing authors. The other day, Dr. Ian Smith was here, got a chance to rap with our brother. I told him to come out here today, so maybe he'll stick his head in today. Michael Harriot was out here with his new book. Elliot Williams from CNN was out here. Had an opportunity to talk to him as well. So some amazing authors. DeBrat is going to be here as well today. We're working on getting DeBrat over here for an interview and talk about her book as well, but a little bit of everything going on. Haley and Matt out here at the 117th NAACP National Convention. It's the Matt McGill Show. Come on out and join us right now.
Happy Monday afternoon, Chicago. I'm Logan Page, and here's what's happening in your news headlines. A battle between Chicago renters' rights groups and Mayor Brandon Johnson is brewing. CPS holding public hearings on budget. Spain takes down Argentina to win World Cup. And Taylor Farm recalls lettuce in 27 states. National news from the Black Information Network is up next on Chicago's only urban talk radio station, 1690 AM WVON, Burnwood, Chicago.
PIN News Now. Energy Secretary Chris Wright says U.S. operations against Iran will continue until President Trump's objectives are met.
The president is always looking for the diplomatic off-ramp. President Trump wants to end it with a peaceful agreement with Iran, but it takes two parties to do that.
Speaking on ABC's This Week, Wright called the mission vital to regional stability and said the administration remains focused on preventing future threats. Paramount Skydance has scored an early win in the legal fight over its proposed merger with Warner Brothers Discovery. A federal judge stepped aside after the company raised conflict concerns, and a new judge has now taken over the antitrust case. And rapper Designer is facing another domestic violence case after being arrested in South Carolina. Authorities say he allegedly damaged property during a dispute with his partner and chased her from the home. This marks his second domestic violence-related arrest of the year. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app. Here's Terry McCready.
A closer look after a deadly few days for U.S. service members in the Middle East. 2 soldiers were killed in an Iranian attack in Jordan on Friday. And U.S. Central Command said over the weekend that U.S. service member was killed in northern Iran on Saturday during a controlled detonation of unexploded ordnance from a downed Iranian one-way attack drone. Fox News just days ago that Iran's military has been significantly degraded. He calls the circumstances surrounding the fallen service members a shame, but says they died because they don't want to see Iran having a Andrew Tate and his brother have been arrested in Miami. The social media influencers, the sons of a black father who was a chess international master, are notorious for their sexist views. They were arrested by federal marshals over the weekend on criminal charges of rape and sex trafficking in the UK. A news release from the UK's Crown Prosecution Service says 39-year-old Andrew Tate has been charged with 7 counts of rape, 3 counts of sex trafficking, 3 counts of assault and other offenses. His brother, 38-year-old Tristan Tate, is being charged with 2 counts of rape, sexual assault, and sex trafficking. British authorities are seeking their extradition. Democratic Senator from Virginia, Mark Warner, says it's a no vote for him when it comes to Jay Clayton's confirmation as Director of National Intelligence. It's an important question in the 2020 election. Candidate candidates from previous DPI's effort to interfere with the elections. And the Warner on ABC's This Week. During the hearing, Clayton was asked repeatedly who won the 2020 presidential election. Clayton would not say President Joe Biden was the winner, rather saying that he was certified as the winner. And Warner says he's expecting Clayton will be confirmed anyway. A federal appeals court hearing arguments on September 15th in Richmond, Virginia, as the Trump administration's effort moves forward to restart criminal cases against former FBI Director James Comey and New York's Black Attorney General Letitia James. It is the latest escalation by the DOJ to revive the cases, which were separately brought by former interim U.S. Attorney Lindsay Halligan. A judge dismissed the cases last year, ruling that Halligan had been unlawfully appointed. The 3-judge panel will be identified just ahead of oral arguments. I'm Terry McGill for the Black Information Network.
Shop small with Wintrust Bank and celebrate the heart of our community, our local businesses. Listen as we share a list of small businesses throughout our community that we can shop, dine, and support throughout the year. These businesses are the economic engine that drives our neighborhoods. Wintrust knows that. That's why they're Chicago's bank and why they're encouraging you to shop local. Keep listening for the Wintrust Community Business Spotlight campaign. With Wintrust, shopping small is a big deal.
This is Community College Certified Financial Planning Professional. For the past year, I've been on a mission to change lives and developing our community. Together, we're changing America. This year, I'm back with a new series, Wealth Strategies and Money Talks. Join me every Tuesday at 8:30 a.m. on the True Williams Show as we have thoughtful discussion on building wealth in our community. We'll discuss topics like investing, saving, tax strategies, retirement, and all things money. Yes, that's Tuesday, 8:30 a.m. So set those alarms. Also, be sure to check out the podcast at WVON.show.com.
Community College is a certified financial planning professional with optimal planning partners and alliance. Optimal Advisors, LLC member, SIPC in Oakford, Illinois. For more information, please call 630-575-5046. Live from the Xfinity Studios is the station that America listens to, WVON, Urban Chicago. It's Matt McGill on Chicago's Central Storyteller, WVON.
All right, guys, we're back. Broadcasting live from the NAACP National Convention here at the McCormick Place. Haley Vaughn hanging out with me this afternoon. We'll be here at 3 o'clock bringing you interviews, amazing interviews. This is an amazing group of very committed and dedicated people to the cause of Black culture, Black history, Black excellence, activism, everything that the history of this institution has done, and the people who are no longer here, their handprints, fingerprints, and footprints, you can take that out and hold that, and it'll be even better, yeah? Are all over this convention, as they should be. With us right now is Karen Boykin-Towns, Vice Chair of the NAACP Board of Trustees.
Board of Directors.
Board of Directors. And she's coming to us all the way from
Brooklyn, New York.
Woo!
Right.
Oh man, I got some.
It's great to be in Chi-Town.
I got some questions for you, but we'll keep it non-political, all right?
Our saying is we are non-partisan, but political as hell.
Political as hell. All right, I love it. I love it. I love that. You know, it was interesting because I was trying not to be political, and then President Johnson went straight political. I was like, wait a minute, okay, let's do this.
Political as hell.
Okay, as we should be. Tell me about the board of directors and the responsibility and role that you guys have.
Well, thank you so much for being here at our 117th convention. And we are excited to be in the city of Chicago. We've had your governor, we've had your mayor, we've had your members of Congress, we've had your U.S. senator, and it's been a great start to a convention where we are a 64-member national board that is representative of our organization. And we had our board meeting on Saturday, and ultimately, as vice chair of the board, it's about governance policy and chairman, working with the president and our members to ensure that we are meeting the moment of now.
Let me ask. So, how many directors do you guys have?
We have 64 members of our national board of directors. We have 43 members of our foundation board. They are primarily to raise money, but we are governed by our 17-member executive committee, which is, the day-to-day.
Sure. Because I was going to ask you, when you have that many people together, right? And you said you guys had your board meeting on Saturday. How many people were there in attendance? Would you guess?
Well, we probably had about 50 in person, and we had several on Zoom.
Because I would imagine, especially today with everything that's going on. I mean, if you just had 50 people, I would imagine everybody's chomping at the bit. Just I got to say something. How do you organize a meeting like that? Do you do Robert's Rules of Order, or because everybody's got to feel like their voice needs to be and wants to be heard, but you got to be able to corral them, don't you?
Yeah, I think our chairman does an exceptional job of ensuring that those that sit around the table have a voice. They were elected for a reason, and they have a constituency for whom they need to represent. And so we are all volunteers, everyone except the President Johnson and the national staff. And so we are passionate, we're committed, and we have, I think we do a good job of communication. So,
Oh no, your mic is running. Go ahead, Michael.
And the agenda is such where we are touching on the issues, and you raise your hand, you get called upon, and you get to ask your question or make your comment. Sometimes the meetings may run long, but they are always productive.
Right, it's a little short, that's all. Go ahead.
Speaking of voice, and we know that you have a women in the legislature.
Oh, it was yesterday. It was yesterday, and it was.
So can you hear about how women's voices, Black voices are represented? What was the spirit like in the room of voice and empowerment?
So let me just start by saying that Women in the NAACP was established in 1980 by Dr. Frances Hooks, who was the wife of then Executive Director Benjamin Hooks. And when it was created as something for the women to advocate. And so, like a service project. So they did amazing work internationally as well as domestically. And, we evolve but Black women have always been the backbone of this organization. So over the years, as with anything, you need to evolve and grow. And so a year ago, the chairman asked me if I would lead our national effort. Dr. Thelma Daly had been doing it for a very, very long time, and she retired from that work. So here we are, and it has been what we're building here. It has been some of the most exciting
struggle in terms of, well, how do I do this? Because, many times you are given a role, but no one really tells you how to do it. And so you have to figure it out. So it's a good tool, the resource, yes. And so yesterday was really about talking about life transitions. We had the most amazing Sheila Johnson with us. And she was very candid and talked about her life transitions and pivots and how she handled them. And she was really candid in terms of some of those tough moments, many of which you've read the book.
Oh, yeah.
You
I didn't read the book, but the story, I noticed, yeah.
Yeah, and so it was amazing to have her there. The women were thrilled. And then we were able to honor the Black women from Artemis II.
Wow.
Yes. And so we had two in person, two who did video messages. Their names are Dr. Vanessa White, Lakeisha Hawkins, Kiara Dooms, and Amber Alexis Turner.
So I was looking on the website because some of them are here, right?
Yeah, two are here.
Wow, that's great.
So
where are they, Karen? I want them on the show.
So Amber,
I'm gonna have you be my producer for the moment. Can you track them down and get them on the show for me?
Let me see, because they are here through this day.
Are they really? I would love.
And the two that are here, Amber and Kiara, they are.
Yeah.
They
I saw that.
are, and their stories. We talk about being excited about being on. Now, I will just say for the record that Captain Glover is my fraternity brother.
Oh, is that right?
He's a member of Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated, and he is a dear friend.
He's a badass, man. That's just so cool. You talk about representing. Oh,
that's a Sigma man for you.
Brother, I was like watching them just like, dude.
Yeah.
Just I was Black Power in the TV all tape watching that brother. You know.
And so listening to them talk about the experience and a mission of that fight, everyone is involved. And so here, one talk about this is just a real Black girl moment, right? So the hours long, very little rest, very little opportunity, and so she said she did not have time to get silk dresses, and she had to, so she got free. And she was so concerned about whether that was professional. I mean, these are real conversations that we should normalize, right? We are having these in our private discussions in Black women achievement and career. We're looking at how that experience is often unique for us and talking about it together, normalizing that experience continues to and I don't think most people would even think that that would be something that you would need to be concerned with, but it was real because they told her she would be, all over the world in terms of media and wanting to communicate. But I must say that the brunch was more than a brunch, it was a moment, and it was a moment for the women in the room to see within each other stories themselves, an opportunity to connect, to recharge, and to really say we see you, we support you, and we're going to get this work done.
Were there any men there?
Yeah, we had a few.
I didn't get invited.
No, we definitely, for the ladies.
For the ladies.
We definitely had been there. Our president and CEO was there. Our chairman was there.
I'm my best in the environments, right? I can stand out better. I don't like competition with the brothers. I want to go to all women events. But let me ask you this, because the art thing is really, really intriguing to me, especially over the years we've seen because of Hidden Colors and Hidden Figures. I'm sorry, and I think Hidden Colors was a documentary too, though, wasn't it? Wasn't that about education? I think documentary. I'm all right. I'm about to see my ADHD activated. I just get all Hidden Figures. It really kind of brings attention to historically, this space program that a lot of people don't understand how nuanced it was, because it's like doing this radio show, right? I'm like, hey, it's my show, it's Matt McGill, out of it, it's all these people that are engineers and technicians, back into studio, making sure that it sounds right. You know, the space program is the same way, man. It's Neil Armstrong and the John Glenn. They're the face of the program, and it's really these mathematicians and engineers that are trying to make sure that the rocket is going to do this, and when it gets up there, it's going to cool itself down. I mean, that is amazing. And then to think like what Hidden Figures did, would just let you know how you had this group of black women that were doing it, man. Putting the program on their backs.
Unrecognized, not heralded for their brilliance. But here we have it now. We are no longer hidden. We will not be hidden.
Yeah.
And so we were so proud to be able to honor them. And they loved it. And we had not advertised it. And so everyone was just overwhelmed.
Oh, I'm sure. So excited.
Well, sister, you are amazing. Can I get an invite to the ladies' brunch next year? Miss Karen Boykin Towns.
Well, we could probably do better than that because there's a WIN chapter here in Chicago, and when they have maybe they'll have you be.
Oh, okay, thank you. Right, so look, I done made her my producer and my agent in one segment, right?
That's what black women do.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Congratulations on being vice chair of the NAACP board. Congratulations on all the work that you've done over the years. Congratulations on empowering not only your sisters, your fellow sisters, but the men that are part of this historic institution and need the support of women like you. Congratulations on being a role model to not only young women, but young men too that see in you the possibilities of excellence and making a difference out here. And, because you did mention this earlier, the power of volunteering. That is something that's very important as we tell the story of the NAACP. We have to understand that there is a sense of duty about it, right? Volunteering is not as sexy as people want it to be, right? But there is a payoff, and that payoff is somebody like you, my sister.
And to whom much is given, much is required.
I love that. And I love you, Karen Boykin Towns.
This was great.
Yeah, from Brooklyn. In the house. I love you, my sister. Let's take a break here. We're broadcasting live from the McCormick Place. It's the 117th NAACP National.
More from Matt McGill coming up on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
The summer experience live music with the stars. Every penny of their night. Last night, Ryan McKnight with a headline. They'll be joined by Chance the Rapper and a special opening night game of performance featuring Lizzo with the Chicago Symphony Orchestra. See great performances all season long from legendary voices to hometown favorites. Lydia brings unforgettable sounds to the summer stage. Get your tickets now at theminute.com.
Tuned in to your favorite WVON personalities on Facebook Live? Don't just watch, like it, love it, share it. Every click helps us grow the conversation and keep the community strong. So remember, like it, love it, share it, Chicago.
Girl, where have you been? My laundry got better. I had so much laundry, I felt like a mess. But I found the truth. Here's the Jehovah's Witness. I found the key. For less than the price of a cookie, clean bread washed and folded by hand and has you smelling fresh and tastes right. It's gotta be inexpensive. You know all the hookups. No, it's simple. I'm looking about to make $100 with 2 bags alone. And I call it WVON. Girl, sign me up. I'm
were a little kid and you thought about what you wanted to be, teaching was at the top of your list. But things changed. And as you got older, teaching didn't seem like the best option anymore. So you thought it would be something else. What would your 12-year-old self say? Now you want to be a doctor. You don't think teachers save lives 25 at a time? An actress. Try playing a different role every time the bell rings. How about a scientist? Ever heard of physics? Chemistry? Who do you think teaches that? Teachers today are breaking down obstacles, finding innovative ways to instill moral lessons that take learning far beyond the four walls of the classroom. It's time to recognize great things are happening in teaching and put it back on the list. Don't try to convince yourself otherwise. You get it right the first time.
Find out how you can make more at teach.org. Big more. Teach. Brought to you by Teach and the Atkins.
Don't you wish you could make me just a little heads up if something bad happens.
Which is like right across. I mean, really? It's really not that.
Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but diabetes does. Early diagnosis and healthy changes.
Why were you
Managing
wondering?
weight, getting active, stopping smoking, and eating healthier.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I really was telling them, like, I don't know what
diabetes. It's easy to learn your risk. Take a 1-minute test today.
Right.
Do I have
I
prediabetes?
was just asking how.
No. I wasn't.
I think I saw Sonya, I think I saw Sonya.
Don't wait. You have the power to choose the outcome. Do I have prediabetes? Do I have prediabetes?
You should tell me that. You should tell me
Brought to
that.
you by the Ad Council and its prediabetes.
Yeah, I think I did. 'Cause her hair is down.
Now back to Matt McGill on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
But I'll think when you get here. Are you coming here or no?
Coming where?
To the station.
I'm here now. I was there just until like 12:30ish to
Oh,
get
okay.
some clicks.
Oh, I understand.
All right, we're back, y'all, at the McCormick Place, the West Building. We are here, Haley Vaughn, hanging out here at the NAACP National Convention. This is a big deal, guys.
Big deal.
I wish we could have activated a little early just to get our listeners really on board with this event, so that they can understand the moment.
Yeah.
Especially during this.
What's going on here? It's so much to take away.
I mean, you think about too, man, with the Obama Center opening up, and to have all of these black leaders here and around, it's a big deal. It's a big deal, man. I mean, you know, the history and legacy of, you talk about 117th convention.
Yeah.
Wow.
That was really, I mean, I was just thinking when we were talking about, the Artemis members being honored, right? What a full circle opportunity for what the NAACP represents. All of the hard work over the years leading to a moment where we can represent Black women traveling to outer space.
Isn't that crazy? So, Sonya, try to see it, when you talk to our sister here, Karen, if there is a way to locate the two women that worked on Artemis, because they're around here somewhere, that would be great. Or if there's a communication person that can bring them about, I would love to get them over here and talk to them, because that's something else, man. And you know what? I'm always looking for a guest to have on to talk about NASA and space exploration and all of that. Anyway, right? So I'm always looking, and of course everybody wants Neil Tyson deGrasse. Because he's like, the star astrophysicist of the world, everybody, because he gives you good content. I mean, that's just the bottom line.
And in a way that you can digest and enjoy.
Right.
And
understand. But I've reached out to Neil and I haven't heard back from him. I'm offended, Neil. No, I'm just kidding. He's busy. But it would be great to have one of these ladies on that we can call.
It would. I mean,
the next
incredible.
time. Yeah, there's something big going on. All right, the 117th NAACP National Convention continues today with a full day of programming celebrating Black excellence, diversity, and inclusion, labor advocacy, and community engagement. Highlights include the morning plenary session, which happened already, Labor Town Hall, LGBTQA Forum, and a full day of activities inside the Hub, which is where we are at the Hub. And of course, the biggest moment of the day is the McGill Show, broadcasting live from here. Now, the People's Climate Summit coming up at 2 o'clock. NAACP Center for Environmental and Criminal Climate Justice will join industry leaders to discuss the critical need to equip communities to advocate for their collective voices to be heard and the grassroots organizing necessary to meet the moment. There's a lot going on. Got a labor town hall meeting. That should be interesting. The LGBTQUA plus forum. All right. It's a lot. That's going on at the Hyatt, which is right next to us, guys. And then also, there's all kind of stuff going on. There's a panel conversation going on right now. What is that? Who is that? That's the Hub. So there's all kind of conversations going on. The NAACP Legal Defense Fund, also referred to as LDF. Oh, yeah. Who's over there? There's so many people here, though. We're just going to be trying to round people up and get them over here because it's some. All right, it's 1:30. Let's take a news break. Broadcast Live, Haley Vaughn and I are out here at McCormick Place. I encourage you to come out here. There's a lot to consume, a lot of Black culture. You don't want to miss any of it. You're listening to the Matt McGill Show. News coming up next, y'all.
Let's kick our week off right, Chicago. I'm Logan Page, and here's happening in your local and national news. A battle between Chicago renters' rights groups and Mayor Brandon Johnson is brewing. WB1's intern, Caleb Patton, explains why.
The city is in the midst of a major policy fight over new tenant protections. The battle is center stage today at City Hall with two competing proposals that will change the future of the city's rentals. Mayor Brandon Johnson's proposal to set up new tenant protections by creating a tenant bill of rights, require just cause for evictions, provide relocation assistance, and mandate a citywide rental registry. However, Chicago's Fair Ordinance Plan, established by Alderman Anthony Quezada and Alderman Gilbert Villegas and others within the Budget Accountability Coalition, will not make landlords explain evictions, and it would remove the mayor's proposed relocation fees. The fight could go to the full Chicago City Council for a vote this fall. Caleb Patton, Our News Now, 1690 WVON.
In other news, the budget battle continues within the Chicago Public Schools. Two public hearings on the issue will be held this afternoon at CPS headquarters in downtown Chicago. The school district has a $732 million budget hole to fill. CPS has proposed laying off nearly 760 teachers and 801 teachers' aides. In other news, Spain defeated Argentina 1-0 extra time to win the 2026 FIFA World Cup, earning its second world title. Spain scored the only goal in extra time after a scoreless match, while Lionel Messi was held without a shot on goal. President Trump, along with leaders from Mexico and Canada and Spain's royal family, attended the championship match in East Rutherford, New Jersey. And Taylor Farms is recalling shredded iceberg lettuce distributed in 27 states due to possible cyclospora contamination. The recalled product was shipped between June 29th and July 16th. The CDC linked the outbreak to shredded lettuce served to Taco Bell, which has since removed the affected product. Health officials say the parasite can cause watery diarrhea, frequent bowel movements, and flu-like symptoms. I'm Logan Page, and what's happening in your news now on WVON 1690.
City updates don't wait, especially with Lollapalooza happening. With the OEMC app, one tap gets you alerts, weather information, and safety updates. Stay smart, stay safe, and enjoy every step. Download today.
When you play the 7X Bingo Multiplier Instant Ticket from the Illinois Lottery, you play with purpose. Over $8.4 million has been raised to help support homelessness programs in Illinois. Purchase one to help raise even more. Be smart, play smart. Must be 18 years or older to play. Game odds available at IllinoisLottery.com. The American Heart Association is committed to being a relentless force for a world of longer, healthier lives, so survivors like Pam Morris-Walton can have more time to celebrate personal and professional milestones with the people they love.
This is your gospel sister, Pam Morris-Walton. By now, you probably know that I had heart failure several years ago, and that I received a new heart. I count every day as a gift, but let me give you some information concerning heart disease. Our primary risk factors are high blood pressure, obesity, and diabetes. Disparities in healthcare access, residential segregation, and living in food deserts doesn't help either. The American Heart Association's action plan for us: manage our blood pressure and weight. Eat a heart-healthy diet. If you want to live a healthier and longer life, please start your heart health action plan today, okay?
Learn more about how to maintain a healthy heart and possible signs of heart disease. Visit the American Heart Association at heart.org. That's heart.org.
Hi, I'm Travis Smiley, inviting you to join me weekdays from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. right here on WVON. I am bringing you a national perspective on all the happenings in the Black community and, of course, politics. It's talk radio for us, by us, and this is where America listens.
It's Travis Smiley, weekdays from 6 to 9 p.m. on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
Meals from those years are hard to forget. It was all white bread, whole milk, hamburger casseroles, and quiche Lorraines, all with a side of cigarettes. We ate salads as desserts. We knew a party was classy if it had a cheese log, and we never missed an after-dinner smoke. It didn't matter if we were in our dining rooms, a burger joint, or the ritziest of restaurants. There'd be an ashtray on every table, and that very particular flavor in every meal. We smoked for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. It's amazing that our food tastes like anything else. If that was you then, get your lungs screened now. Surviving lung cancer starts with a scan. Learn more at screenyourlungs.org. This PSA was made possible by industry funding and guidance from lung cancer patient groups.
The following message is brought to you by Goodwill and the Ad Council.
The inherent right to work is one of the elemental privileges of a free people. Endowed, as our nation is, with abundant physical resources, and inspired as it should be with the high purpose to make those resources and opportunities available for the enjoyment of all, we approach this problem of reemployment with the real hope of finding a better answer than we have now.
Your stuff can be more powerful than you think. Your stuff can be a resource for change. Donate to Goodwill, where your donations help fund job placement and training for people in your community. Goodwill. Donate stuff, create jobs. Find your nearest donation center at goodwill.org.
Now back to Matt McGill on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
All righty, we're back. Guys, we're at the McCormick Place. Matt McGill show on the road with Haley Vaughn. We're usually in studio doing our thing. This is your first time being out?
It is. It's my first time out the studio.
Okay.
And, I mean, what a great way to kick that off.
There you go, right. NAACP National Convention, 117th. Doing our thing, Black culture, Black art, Black excellence on display here, like our brother Terrell Carter, who is sitting next to us. Writer.
I'm so excited to be here.
Among other things, now he has added author to the list.
Yes.
Of acting and what else? Producing?
Acting, music. I'm a singer, actor, author.
Doing it all.
Doing it all. I'm blessed to do it all.
You are a five-tool player, as they would say in baseball, right? He can run, he can hit, he can throw, he's got a good arm, he got it all, man. He can do it. That's good, though, bro. But you got to be, man, like in the entertainment industry.
You better be doing a lot in the entertainment. Okay. You got to be a writer, producer. You got to be able to clean the windows. You got to be able to clean the windows, and yes.
Change the oil.
Change the oil. Yeah.
Buffalo, New York, bro.
Born and raised in Buffalo, New York. Yeah. Yeah.
Rick James, man.
Rick James. Rick. Hometown of Rick James.
Hey, let me ask you, does the legacy of Rick exist, man?
I can't say, the stuff that Rick James says.
I know.
Yes, absolutely. It absolutely exists. And it exists in a good way.
Is he back?
His entire story was so amazing when you just watch and look at it and think about where he came from, what he did, and the messages that he put out, the good and the wrong turns,
Hold on, I'm gonna give you this. Hold on, because this mic is acting up. Okay, because I can deal with this one a little better. There you go. Now, yeah. So and Rick James and I hate to say this, but OJ put Buffalo on the map too, man. A lot of people don't want to fess up on that.
Yeah.
How are you feeling about the fact the Bills are doing this new state? Because I know this is a big issue and not having OJ in the ring.
Honestly, I am a musician that couldn't care less about a football. If there was never another football game in the history of my life, okay with that.
Really?
I was never into it. Never cared
Is that
about
right?
it. Never cared about it. Love
You look like an athlete,
You're an
though.
artist through and through.
I'm an artist through and through.
Is that right?
And that's just my whole thing is shifting towards that, and that's just what it is.
How did that happen, though, man, growing up in Buffalo?
What do you mean?
Like you not being, because Buffalo's such a strong sports town, man.
Because I'm an individual that ain't got nothing to do with what the town is.
Right.
Truth, what it is that I was always here. I left home, I left Buffalo, and I left, my family and everybody when I was 15, 14. Because I just felt like there was a greater calling for my life that was completely different than anything I had ever seen before.
What was that calling for you? Was it entertainment, the entertainment
It wasn't
industry?
necessarily entertainment. It was the message of how, I was born. My book is called Problem Child. And my mom's story was my mom was 11 years old when she had me. She was special needs, one leg amputated at birth. She was just a special needs baby. She was molested by my dad from the same family. And he was 26. And it was a story I didn't want to tell. I didn't want to tell anybody. I wanted people to know me for the Tyler Perry movies and Beauty in Black and Diary of a Man, all that stuff. But I realized that this story was what shifted me and to give me built the character in me that can speak to people right where they are. The other stuff is just to bring them to me, but healing, one person at a time, because we all got our stories. We all are different. We all got things that we don't want to share, and especially us in our black families, we don't. It was always don't tell what goes on in the house, but what goes on in the house shapes you for the rest of your life. So that was why
I love that, man, because it does take a lot of courage to tell that story, brother. It does take a lot of courage, man.
And so that was your reasoning, that was your story, your why. But tell us about how your journey through authorship this first time maybe broke that open even more and untapped new parts of yourself you probably didn't even realize.
Well, it definitely opened. I never planned to write a book. I met some kid, and we were just having drinks at a festival called Coachella. And he told me his story. He's like, yeah, I come from this, I come from that. And what about you? And I said, well, this is my story. And I never told anybody when he was white. And to be honest with you, I thought, well, he never, that's not.
Won't get it.
Yeah, and even if he got it, it's not me sharing it with another black person who I'd be, more, a little bit more, which is crazy, but you would have been a little
less
bit
vulnerability.
Less vulnerability, because I didn't care what he thought, honestly. And then he said he couldn't believe it blew his mind. And he says, I've never heard anything like this in my life.
Is that right?
And he says, and I'm 21 years old.
I haven't either, though, brother.
Yeah, he says, I'm 21, and I represent Republican senators. And then I'm already looking like, okay.
Where you was looking for the red hat?
But the thing was, for me, that I've always seen that God has always opened up doors in a place where you don't expect it at all. So there's no other question than it was him. And he says, but I also represent one publisher that did Lady Gaga's dad's book. They might like this story. That was on Friday.
Wow.
And by Wednesday, they were giving me an offer. And that is how my book is.
Are you kidding me?
That's how it is in there. So basically, I didn't try to tell that story. That's what I meant. I didn't try to write a book. It came to me. Yes.
Wow, bro. Look, brother, that's better than a Hollywood story in terms of getting like, hey, how'd you get your first acting? That story's impressive, brother.
That story was the type of story that needed to be to support the story that the book is. Honestly, the story, the way that it came about for me to be able to share my book, is just as dramatic as me telling what the story is about. You know, almost. But you know,
let me ask you this, because when you're telling a story that's this person, right? Everything that's connected with it. Did you have family members that were like, "No, man, don't tell the story. Come on now, you're thinking about yourself. You ain't thinking about us."
Well, fortunately, fortunately, but unfortunately for the story, all of them are dead. You know, my mom and dad, all of the aunts and all of them, you know, and I have one cousin who, you know, she was molested in this whole situation. So she was the one that I sat down and I said, listen, I want to tell our story because this is our story. You know, this is, and I had to be sensitive to that, you know, for her. And she was like, absolutely. And she said, tell it like it needs to be told. And we had this thing, her and I said, you know, we used to always say as kids, we were nothing like the rest of our family, you know, and with trauma, I realized that I don't have to hold it. That's not my trauma. I didn't do what my dad did and what these people did. I didn't have to try to figure out how to make this place and forget. I just don't believe that. I will never be okay with some of the stuff that happened, but at the same time, I didn't do that. Right. So when I'm sharing it, I'm not sharing my trauma. I'm sharing what I'm.
And you know what we find usually, man. You know, we always use this term "hurt people."
Yeah.
Some, you know, your dad's got a story, brother. You know what I'm saying?
They do, and you know, and as I was writing the story, a lot of the times, I understood him in a way that I had never understood him, because all I understood before that was, how could you? Then I wrote about it. I thought it ain't. Well, first of all, it is not for me to understand.
That's right.
And that's
or just, you know,
and honestly,
can be healing.
it is. And then I thought about it. There is no way for me to process what you do, because I don't think that way. And I didn't have to. I don't have to figure out a place to put it. I don't. You know, I'm thinking, because there's nowhere to put that. You know, but out here where it can help other people.
So who is Problem Child for? What readers, what audience are you looking for?
You know, Problem Child is from 9 to 99. You know, when I realized in my family I wasn't the one with the problem, and I wasn't the problem child, I was the one that they didn't want anybody to know what happened, because then it exposed everything else. But then I realized, who was doing that? All of the people who didn't want them to know who's my father was, because then it was exposed. So I was the problem to them. But then I realized, no, it just depends on how you look at it. So everybody dealing with problems and issues in their life, if you just sit back sometimes and realize, I may be in this, I may be going through this, I may have had this happen to me, but you just may not be the problem. You know, you may not. And if you are the one with the problem, then let's talk about it. Let's get it out there instead of hiding our traumas and our issues and the things that we've done, like we do in the Black family. You know?
Somebody's going, if it hasn't happened already, and I'm sure it probably has, somebody's going to be like, you know what, T, you are helping me think about my story, man, and telling my story, brother, because I've been hiding it and didn't want to. I've been embarrassed. Somebody's going to hit you with that, bro.
Oh, it's happened many times. And like I said, this surprise, I didn't plan this at all. I planned to be a singer. I planned to be the actor and all of that. This I didn't plan, and I get in the fulfillment that comes from watching other people not just be intrigued by something I'm saying, but to be moved and healed and want to just, even if it's just to start the conversation.
Tell, before we take this break, because I don't know if you got to go or not, but before we take this break, tell everybody how they can get the book.
Yes, you can go on Amazon. You can go. It's also on Audible. I did a audio book in my own voice and told the story like that. So
there you go.
Yeah.
Plus, we're going to have Berlin come over here, because you can buy it from the store as well.
Yes, you can.
And you come out here to the NAACP convention.
Yes, I'm out here signing, taking pictures.
There you go, brother. That's right. You know, the crowd is coming, and we want more of you guys to come on out. All right, let's take a quick break here. Let's come back. Let's talk about the career a little bit. Let's do that. When we return, broadcasting live from the NAACP convention, national convention, is the Matt McGill Show.
More from Matt McGill coming up on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
Some people wait for the future, others build it. WVON proudly presents the 2026 40 Game Changers Under 40. This year, it's a contest celebrating the navigators of next. Do you know an entrepreneur, community change agent, rising executive, educator, innovator, or a creator who is 40 or under and doing great work to help shape the future of Chicago? Or is that someone you? Now through July 17th, we're taking nominations. Visit 40gamechangers.com to submit your nominee. And then keep listening for updates on this year's exciting celebration. In 2026, our compass is on the navigators of next, because Chicago's future belongs to the people bold enough to lead it. Sponsored by BMO.
Someone had a birthday.
Yep, 50. Can't believe it.
50 years of wisdom.
Great segue. We have a health reminder from the CDC.
Pneumococcal vaccination is recommended for adults 50 or older. Says here, we're over 6 times more likely to be hospitalized with pneumococcal pneumonia than adults under 50.
I don't love those odds.
Same. Look what I found. Pfizer's Prevnar 20 is proven to help protect adults against pneumococcal pneumonia and invasive pneumococcal disease in just 1 dose, and millions have already gotten it.
Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you have a severe allergy to its ingredients. A weakened immune system may lower your response. Common side effects include injection site pain and swelling, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138. Visit Prevnar20.com or talk to your doctor or pharmacist.
I'm on Prevnar20.com now, scheduling my appointment.
Good idea. It's Rufus Williams. Harold Washington called Hell.
Hi, how are you? Good, how are you?
Is it good to come in?
Yeah, they're all at the McCormick Place. They're not here.
Oh, I know. I thought you'd be there.
I have to work.
I know, working from there.
They won't let me.
Okay.
I feel like after 3 o'clock, I'm gonna have to do like 4 traffic hours, so it's just like a lot, you know.
Weekdays at 7 a.m. on the Talk of Chicago.
Figure that out, and I can get doing whatever.
All righty then.
Now back to Matt McGill on the Talk of Chicago.
Is he live?
WVON.
They have, so I can see him from here.
They have a remote there.
Oh, I thought I could actually see him.
It's about to come on soon.
Okay.
Did you see him in the corner?
Oh, there he is.
Yeah.
Come on.
Now, who is this?
Come on.
Haley.
That's some James Brown.
Who?
Happy Monday, everybody. We're broadcasting live from the McCormick Place. There's a panel discussion going on here. We're in the hub, the main auditorium here in the Westfield. Man, McCormick Place is so big. I've been living here all my life, and there's still some places in this building that I've never been. There's many conventions and shows. Just think about over the years that we've been to, man. I'm still like, wait a minute, I've never been in this building. I've never been in this spot right here. Before I graduated from high school, in the old McCormick Place building, the Airy Crown Theater, which many of you guys remember. Okay, that's how far back I go. Our brother's author of the book Problem Child's been sharing his story with us, so personal and so fascinating, man, but just so real. I mean, you know, what you want from an author is just be real, be yourself, let it all out, connect. And I always say, I was talking to some guys the other day that were right over there where you were, Terrell. You know, man, I just hope when I pick up a book that paragraph can get me to the next paragraph, that it makes me want to read the next paragraph and keep doing that. And that is Terrell Carter, actor, author now. Brother spent some time living in Chicago.
Living in Chicago, man. I was saying when we were on the break, Chicago is one of my favorite cities. To me, in America, Chicago. And I even say in the wintertime.
Okay.
That's an issue, you know, but even in the wintertime, it's just a place to eat and the culture. But the summertime, I've never seen a city where they dyed the little lake. I used to live in Illinois, a block from Navy Pier, so the back of my building was where the boat comes.
I know exactly where you are.
I was blown away. You know, the city always has concerts and everything. So yeah,
summertime. So dude, I was working. That's funny when you were living there. I was working. Were you on the show when Vivica was on it? Vivica Fox was on it.
There was so much going on Empire when I was on there. So
she was living down over in that area too.
Yeah.
I was bartending.
at the Sheridan Hotel. I don't know if you know where the Sheridan. It's right down where you are in Illinois. Sheridan is right there.
445.
Yeah, I know. I know exactly where you are, man. That area is just amazing, man. Because like you said, Navy Pier is right there. The lake is right there. You can jog. We are spoiled though, man. Because we were having this conversation the other day about the lake, right? And I love it. And it's public. I tell people that what stands out about it is it's public space. Chicago, that's all we know. When you go to other cities, waterfront is private, right?
It is different.
And that private
Private real estate.
Yeah, and coming from Los Angeles with my management, I remember her asking me, she said, well, how's it out there? I know you're lonely and all that. I said, this is the fact that the lake is so big that it looks like an ocean.
I know.
So it looks like but the beachfront that they built down there.
Oh my God.
I'm like, oh no.
Okay.
So many people don't know.
I don't know how
many
they don't
people
know.
still don't know.
I'm downtown. Like you get the beach.
I know, right? Brother, it's the whole east side of the city, really.
Yeah, it is.
Lake Michigan is, as you go south, the city goes out a little bit, but really, the lake is the whole east side of Chicago, man.
As far as the way they built it up and the changes, I think it's just unbelievable.
You know what I tell people as far as the winter is concerned? You're from
Can you
Buffalo, so
hear
you
me
kind of
right
know
now?
this anyway. The winter is bad. If you come from LA in the middle of the winter and you get off the plane, you're going to be like, what the hell? But when you are here, as the season gradually changes, it doesn't bother you as much.
Because you get the fall, you get the clothes, you can start wearing different clothes. And then this city changes for the winter. You know, you still have beautiful places to eat and go out. So I like it.
A lot of times books become more than a book. They become a film. I mean, that has to be a possibility because I'm thinking if the publisher took it up that quick, dude, somebody else might have eyes for it.
The interest that I got right now, they want to actually make it a series, you know, and I just, to go from a story that I didn't want anybody to know, to go from something that I hid to now being able to be here with you all and be at the NAACP convention, and then now, you know, I can't say with network, but they wanted to take my story to that part blows my mind.
Good.
But again, it is still the story that we all have. You know, it is, you know, a lot of times people hear it and say, yes, it's a little different. But when you're in your trauma, man, it is just as important to you as it was to me.
Brother, I just love that you told the story, man, and you're doing your thing, and that you love Chicago so much. What's career-wise? What's next, though, man? I know that it's being an actor, brother, is always like the challenge, right? Audition, getting it.
It is, but you know, I mean, I've been fortunate enough to at least to work with Tyler Perry for 20 years, and so I go in and out of that, you know. But fortunately, right now I'm on Beauty and Black, which has been the #1 show globally, actually. And you know, we were at the third season, so it'll be coming out sometime either this year or early. But I'm gonna ride that train, write this book. You write the second book.
That's a good train to be on.
Yeah, it is. A lot of people wish they had a seat on that train, brother.
Yes.
Tyler, I saw him here for the opening of the Obama Center, man, and he just seems like a cool brother. He's got it. Wait a minute. He's got his own story.
Yeah, he does.
Okay,
he does.
He's got his own story, right? And maybe that's why he is so good at doing what he does, though, man. So for you, brother, I just see more of art storytelling, because you know, look, we had Troy Pryor. I don't know if you know Troy Pryor.
I don't.
You need to meet Troy. Where did he leave? But Troy has the Creative Cipher and the XL Film Festival that's here in Chicago every year. Big advocate for the film industry, bringing the film industry to Chicago. You need to meet Troy, though, man. I want to make sure if he's still around and you're over there, I'll bring him over. But a good contact for you, man. His access to Hollywood and the executives and the work that's out there. But he's a big advocate of people telling their story, you know, and bringing it to the screen and helping them bring it to the screen and helping them identify the tools and the contacts that help bring it to the screen. So, you know, telling this one story, brothers, that's going to open you up to tell more.
Thank you so much.
You know, and then I'm going to be like, man, that's my man.
But full circle, right? That someone brought this story forward out of you, created the opportunity. You're telling your story now, and likely will inspire so many others to do the same.
Hear me now.
All right, Terrell, do you think your man, your brother, he's ready? Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. Hey, man, we'll catch you next time, though, brother. It's the first time, it's not the last time, brother. I appreciate you and love you, man, for coming over here. Yeah, that's all right. And Problem Child is the book. If you come out here, guys, you get an opportunity.
Across the broadcast.
There you go. You get an opportunity to see Terrell Carter. He will be here signing autographs and personalizing his book. We got to get Verlene on because she's got the bookstore over there, and I want to make sure that we are giving some love to Black bookstores.
Yeah.
Right?
Which is we need more of.
Yep. So as much as we can celebrate, hey, go on Amazon and do all this stuff, we want this brother, we want Black bookstores to survive, exist, and prosper. No doubt about it, right? No doubt about it. All right. I was about to give out the phone number, but I'm so used to doing. We're broadcasting live. The convention is starting to fill up. There's a panel discussion going on. How you doing, my sister? Haley and I just grabbing interviews as we go. So when we return, we got some more people coming on. I'll tell you who that is when we return. But don't go anywhere. Keep it locked right here. Headline News is coming up next. It's the Matt McGill Show.
Yeah, headlines real quick. Are you doing over there?
I'll do it for you. It's the first day of the week, Chicago. I'm Logan Page, and here are your news headlines. NAACP leader discusses convention in Black institution. State brothers expected in court following UK charges. And family awaits answers as Noah Wells is laid to rest. National News for the Black Information Network is up next. Chicago's only urban talk radio station, 1690 AM WVON, Berkwood, Chicago. Oh my God.
Energy Secretary Chris Wright says U.S. operations against Iran will continue until President Trump's objectives are met.
The president is always looking for the diplomatic off-ramp. President Trump wants to end
Hey, turn hers off.
with Iran, but it takes two parties.
Turn her mic off. All right, cool. Do you want to make those? Okay, great.
Regional stability and said the administration remains focused on preventing future threats. Paramount Skydance has scored an early win in the legal fight over its proposed merger with Warner Brothers Discovery. A federal judge stepped aside after the company raised conflict concerns, and a new judge has now taken over the antitrust case. And rapper Designer is facing another domestic violence case after being arrested in South Carolina. Authorities say he allegedly damaged property during a dispute with his partner and chased her from the home. This marks his second domestic violence-related arrest of the year. Get BIN News now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app. Here's Terry McCready.
A closer look after a deadly few days for U.S. service members in the Middle East. 2 soldiers were killed in an Iranian attack in Jordan on Friday. And U.S. Central Command said over the weekend a U.S. service member was killed in northern Iraq on Saturday during a controlled detonation of unexploded ordnance from a downed Iranian one-way attack drone.
And they have fight, it's like a great boxer. You think you have him beat, and then all of a sudden he comes back and he gives you a shot.
Trump telling Fox News just days ago that Iran's military has been significantly degraded. He calls the circumstances surrounding the fallen service members a shame, but says they died because they don't want to see Iran having a nuclear weapon. 17 U.S. service members have been killed since the war with Iran began on February 28th. Andrew Tate and his brother have been arrested in Miami. The social media influencers, the sons of a black father who was a chess international master, are notorious for their sexist views. They were arrested by federal marshals over the weekend on criminal charges of rape and sex trafficking in the UK. A news release from the UK's Crown Prosecution Service says 39-year-old Andrew Tate has been charged with 7 counts of rape, 3 counts of sex trafficking, 3 counts of assault and other offenses. His brother, 38-year-old Tristan Tate, is being charged with 2 counts of rape, sexual assault, and sex trafficking. British authorities are seeking their extradition. Democratic Senator from Virginia Mark Warner says it's a no vote for him when it comes to Jay Clayton's confirmation as Director of National Intelligence.
His inability to answer the question about the 2020 election, commenting on Danvers, previous DNI's effort to interfere in the Fulton County elections. I am not going to vote for him.
Mic check 1 2. Mic check 1 2. Mic check 1 2. Mic check. You hear anything? Mic check 1 2. Newsroom.
Saying that he was certified as the winner. However, Warner says he's expecting Clayton will be confirmed.
Did you get this to an actual radio,
A
or did
federal
you listen
appeals
to it
court
on
heard
the internet?
arguments on September 15th in
Like
Richmond,
this,
Virginia,
like
as
how
the
you
Trump
listen to it?
administration's
Because it is on the phone.
moves forward to restart criminal cases against former FBI Director James Comey and New York's Black Attorney General Letitia James. It is the latest escalation by the DOJ to revive cases which were separately brought by former interim U.S. Attorney Lindsay Halligan. A judge dismissed both cases last year, ruling that Halligan had been unlawfully appointed. The three-judge panel will be identified just ahead of oral arguments. I'm Terry McGill for the Black Information Network.
Straight from WVON.
I'm Selma, and I'll be your server this evening. My special is pasta primavera, and it comes with a salad. Oh, and by the way, I abuse my children. Lots of times I beat them for even the smallest reason. But when they really get on my nerves, I lock them in the closet for a few hours.
Mic check,
If
1, 2,
only
1,
child
2.
abuse was this easy to recognize, perhaps then more people would report it. If you even suspect abuse, call Child Help at 1-800-4A-CHILD or visit www.childhelp.org. We've helped millions of people help millions of children, and we can help you. All calls are anonymous and confidential, so remember, 1-800-4A-CHILD or visit www.childhelp.org. Child Help, trust your instincts. A public service message brought to you by Child Help and the Ad Council.
It only takes a minute to find out if you may have prediabetes, and you can do it at doihaveprediabetes.org. But you're probably not going to. Nope. I'm sure you've got a perfectly good excuse. Kids, work, I get it. You're busy. So what better time than now? Let's begin. Raise one finger if you're a man. Ladies, not yet. Oh, down in your head if you're drunk. Now, 3 more fingers for everyone over 60, 2 over 50, 1 over 40, 1 more if you're not physically active. Another finger if anyone in your family has type 2 diabetes. Another if you've got high blood pressure. If you're overweight, raise another finger. 2 if you're very overweight. And 3 if you're really overweight. You've just taken the world's first audio pre-diabetes test. And if you're holding up 5 or more fingers, visit doihaveprediabetes.org or talk to your doctor. There's no excuse because pre-diabetes can be reversed.
Brought to you by the Ad Council and its pre-diabetes awareness partners.
Hey, wouldn't it be great if life came with remote control?
You know, you could hit pause when you needed to, or hit rewind.
Time you knocked down that wasp's nest.
Uh-oh.
Or that time you forgot to roll up your windows in the car wash.
Fantastic.
Yeah. .org today. That's doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its pre-diabetes awareness partners.
When you were a little kid and you thought about what you wanted to be, teaching was at the top of your list. But things changed. And as you got older, teaching didn't seem like the best option anymore. So you're thinking you'll be something else. But what would your 12-year-old self say? Now you want to be a doctor. You don't think teachers save lives? 25 at a time. An actress? Try playing a different role every time the bell rings. How about a scientist? Ever heard of physics? Chemistry? Who do you think teaches that? Teachers today are breaking down obstacles, finding innovative ways to instill old lessons, and taking learning far beyond the 4 walls of the classroom. It's time to recognize that great things are happening in teaching and put it back on your list. Don't try to convince yourself otherwise. You had it right the first time.
Find out how you can make more at teach.org. Make more. Teach. Brought to you by Teach and the Ad Council.
Live from the Xfinity Studios, it's the station that America listens to. WVON, Berwyn, Chicago. It's Matt McGill on Chicago's Essential Storyteller, WVON.
There's been so many things that's held us down, but now it looks like things are finally coming around. I know we've got a long way to go.
Well, what do you know? We're back on the air, broadcasting, guys. Having a good time at the NAACP National Convention, the 117th version of this is as important today as it has ever been. We the people. We had President Derek Johnson on with us earlier and talked about what that meant and the mission of this institution, why it's important for us to participate and to celebrate our Black institutions because they are under attack. And we know that from this administration. So our unity has to stand out more today than ever before. All right, we got two amazing guests with us. Tanisha Sullivan of Sanofi, am I saying it correctly, is with us. They are partnering with the NAACP to increase health equity, right? Excellent. Welcome to the show there. Thank you so much. Brother Jamal Watkins, who's the Senior VP of Strategy with the NAACP as well. So we're sharing microphones here. So I'll start with you, Tanisha. Tell us about Sanofi. I'm curious.
Well, first, thank you so much for having me. I greatly appreciate it. And appreciate your listeners still tuning in and not tuning me out here.
You know.
So definitely.
It's the powerhouse WVON, sister.
Love it. And it's always great to be in the Chi in Chicago. I'm from Boston.
There you go.
I won't hold it against y'all. We won't talk sports.
You know what, Boston.
We're not going to talk sports.
But you know what? I hear. Obviously, there's a lot of history with both cities in terms of Black people, right? And but and that's the history of America. But one thing I will say, I was very impressed with your mayor at those hearings a couple of years ago. Yep. They were trying, and she had just had a baby, and she was showing. She was like, "Ain't no thing. I'm showing up, and I wish y'all do come at me." And they came at her, and woo, sister was not playing around with them senators.
And so here's the thing. I do believe that when it comes to the critical issues of today, whether it is public safety in our communities, or it is health equity, or it is economic opportunity, that it is important for us all to show up.
Yeah.
And it's one of the reasons why for us, about 2 years ago at Sanofi, we made a very intentional decision that we wanted to do more in the health equity space. And by more, what I mean is we wanted to move from transactional relationship to a committed partnership with organizations like the NAACP to help advance health equity. For us, Sanofi is a biopharmaceutical company. We're a global biopharmaceutical company based in Paris, of course, with operations in the U.S. Healthcare is our business. But what we know is that we can't talk about healthcare being our business if we are not focused on all people having access to the diagnosis, care, and treatment they need and deserve. Healthy communities is our goal. And what we realize is that there are deep disparities. There is health inequity. And as we're trying to partner with more communities of color, more low-income communities, more under-resourced communities to help ensure access, there's really no better organization than the NAACP to help do that.
You know what's interesting? When it comes to Black America, it's kind of like, it reminds me when I was a kid watching the Bozo Show. There used to always be this one guy that came on there, and he had all of these sticks. And he was spinning the dishes on the sticks, right? And his whole goal was to get he had 10 sticks and to get the dishes. But it seemed like every time, just about when he got them all up there, then one of them was starting to wobble off, right? And being Black in America is like that, man. Every time it's like, you feel like you're getting closer to equity, right? Somewhere. Then it's like, hey, but what about over here in healthcare, guys?
Oh, yeah, okay, hey, we're making some progress in these other fields. Oh, what about this one? It's always a space where we need to be focused on. And sometimes it's almost a shell game, right? That we get distracted by progress in one space and you know, the status quo. I'm trying not to be racial here. The status quo, sometimes they hide like these other little issues, like we're making money here, let's not turn them on to this, you know, because if they find out about this, that there's money to be made here, oh man, they're gonna hit us with DEI, they're gonna hit us with equity. Hey man, how come we're not getting a slice of that pie, right? And healthcare was kind of like that, right? You know, because we had made so many accomplishments in civil rights, and then we had to look up and realize, hey guys, healthcare is nuanced. It's not just this. It's so many other things that we are not getting serviced on.
So I did. Thank you for letting me have the mic back for a second, because I love what you just said, because it gives me the opportunity to make this point. When we talk about health equity and the advancement of health equity, what we're talking about is working to ensure that all people, regardless of where they are, and I don't just say that, I mean it, that all people, whether you are in Appalachia,
okay,
you are in Jackson, Mississippi, you are in Chicago, you're in LA, whether you're in Wyoming, that you have access to these innovative treatments that are coming to market every day in this country. And so it really is, from a health equity standpoint, it's about expanding, not contracting, expanding opportunity and access for people as it relates to their health.
Go ahead, Brother Jamal.
And I would say, well, first and foremost, it's good to be with the Talk of Chicago as a resident of Washington, D.C., another major city, and D.C. should be a state one day.
Okay.
We're clear from an NAACP perspective, as Tanisha just lifted up, that we are really talking about how do you reposition people's mindsets, that everyone wants to thrive, that everyone deserves to thrive, and that no matter who you are, you want to live the longest, you want to have a healthy quality life, you want to be able to take care of your family, you want to be able to go to brunch, have a vacation, you want to live a really good and productive life. And then all of the mess that men and women throw in the way of that is what we're wrestling with. Racism, sexism, capitalism,
classism.
Dare I say it? When you think about all of those things, for us, we're clear-eyed that that is actually our ultimate mission, is to run ourselves and work ourselves out of business. Because if everyone has access to the best drug interventions and medicinal therapies, if you're able to work maybe one job or have a company that you've started that takes care of you and your family, you're living a great life. And a lot of the negative things that people experience, not that goes away, because life happens, but you are getting rid of those barriers that people put in place, many times because you happen to be Black, because you happen to be a woman, you happen to be a senior, you happen to live in Appalachia versus living in Hollywood or in Beverly Hills. So for us, it's how do we get people to turn that on? And that really changes the discussion and the debate.
Let me, please, Haley, dive in when you want to. Isn't there a capitalism component to this conversation as well, though, as we talk about access?
And you know what this reminds me of, that.
Jamal.
And to your, I'm gonna pass it over to you, but I'm thinking about our Walgreens conversation right now, right? When we talk about healthcare and what the Black community does or doesn't have access to, and various reasons why, people are pushed out of the convenience sometimes because of classism or neighborhood or age or whatever type of disparities our community is presented with. It impacts our healthcare beyond ways that we might even see and notice. So just bringing, I think, awareness to that is a conversation we need to continue to have about resources.
And what we find in our communities is that a lot of times we are misled to believe there's not enough to go around, that somehow there's only enough to make one man a trillionaire and everybody else, the majority, broke and struggling. But the reality is there is enough wealth and economic engines in not just this country, but in the globe, to where if we did some things differently, we changed some policies, we actually unrigged the rules, that my mother, my cousin, my neighbor can live a good life, and it doesn't hurt me from also living a good life or a great life.
That's a tough lesson for a lot of people that are born and raised in America to learn, brother. Share that you can actually share with. Reverend Jackson used to say this to me. He would come on the show, and this was years ago when he was really getting into right around when the Occupy Wall Street conversations were happening and stuff like that. Reverend Jackson said to me, you know, it's hard to get rich people to they're cool with helping. It's hard to get them to share. Right. And the difference that he was explaining was helping means like, oh, yeah. Okay, I got some, you know, let's start this program and let's do that and let's do that. Sharing was hey, look, these are some stocks right now you can buy. This is how you create wealth. This is how you can create the same kind of wealth that I have. Right. And he was saying that he said rich people don't necessarily like sharing. They like, you know, I can make a donation and put my name on that building and da-da-da-da-da. This is the Matt McGill Emergency Room Center, da-da-da-da-da, right? That helps out, doesn't it? Yeah, how can we be a trillionaire like you? Well, now, you know, that's a whole different conversation. You know what I'm saying? And that's part of the access, even access to what a trillionaire has access to, you know? But that's a good. But the capitalism part is a part of this conversation as well, though, because when we talk about healthcare, isn't the profit aspect and component of healthcare? Is there a conflict with that and the goals of Sanofi?
No. You know, the work that we do in the health equity space is decidedly not philanthropic. Now, I have colleagues who do focus on philanthropy and other types of grants and contributions in the community, and that work is critically important. As a grassroots NAACP myself, please and thank you to companies that continue to be philanthropic. But the work that my team does within our organization is decidedly not. It is focused on our ensuring that we are, again, expanding access, right? And so that is having an understanding of, you know, which patient populations, which communities have little to no awareness about their disease state, a particular disease state, or a particular, or what's happening in the healthcare ecosystem that could help them to live healthier lives. That is directly tied to our overarching business strategy. So Sanofi is one of the world's largest vaccine manufacturers. So you think about our flu, RSV. These are public health issues from a vaccination standpoint that matter, that impact communities. And so one of the things that we're very focused on is helping to ensure that we are in community, partnering with organizations like the NAACP to address vaccine hesitancy and the concerns that people may have about
misinformation around vaccines.
Exactly.
And I would lean in to say, when we think about healthcare as a sector, it's not just the notion of, you know, caring for people, because patient advocacy and patient care does come first, but it also is a business entity. And how do we as a community make sure that Black folks, brown folks, women-led businesses are a part of that ecosystem?
Sure.
Because if you're talking about a hospital, somebody has to build the hospital. Someone has to maintain the hospital. There's services that go in and out of the hospital. There's vendors. There's all of this economics. And if we're not paying attention to how we're a part of the economics of it all, I think we're missing that part of the pie, if you will. And so the balance between what we at the NAACP and our partners at organizations like Sanofi are doing is thinking about both healthcare outcomes, but also the business of healthcare and making sure that we're included on both sides.
And that's always been that challenge, right? Where that blend comes in, right? Massaging that space where it all makes sense to the overall population, right? The majority of the people in the country, right? And that's, and I'm gonna tell you guys, we're gonna have some interesting conversations about this moving forward in these next 2 election cycles. because the DSA and the conversations that are heading in that direction are going to be very fascinating as they intertwine with our politics.
And I would just lift up, for us, we are nonpartisan, meaning we don't care about Republican or Democrat. We don't care about who a certain candidate is. We care about their policies.
Their policies,
and the
right.
impact that it has on our people and our communities. And we are arguing sometimes with ourselves to say we want the best out of government and the best out of any mayor, governor, senator, whoever it may be. And that forces us to really ask the question, what are we really fighting for and with whom?
And that's created this space where the independent people are saying, hey, look, we need to be driving toward an independent party and not so locked into the two-party system. So like I said, we got some, because that conversation is going to play out here in Chicago next year. We've got a mayor's race that's about to happen big time.
Start, right?
Educating,
bringing up these conversations, identifying where there are gaps that need to be filled for our community to inform so they can take action in a way that's going to benefit us when the time comes.
I have a 97-year-old cousin, and so I'm going through the healthcare process with her, and you really understand how there are some concerns about who we are as a country in healthcare when you are really that close to a senior and kind of at that stage of their life. You see some of the challenges for them. You really start asking the questions like, all right, what's going on here, man? Are we taking care of people or not? And
so what I'll kind of leave us on is just a bit of information for your listeners. The NAACP and Santa Fe have an initiative called Ace Your Health. Ace Your Health was launched about 1.5 years ago, and it's really focused on helping to empower patients and communities around our healthcare journey.
Sure.
Right? So when you talk about aging family members, one of our areas of focus is around artificial intelligence, AI, and how it can actually support us.
I believe it.
As we're supporting others.
How
can we use these tools to help inform
me,
how we approach how
I can help my 97.
You can help your 97-year-old
I see that.
grandmother. And we're focused through ACE. We're focused on education so we can learn how to use these tools, because we got to learn how to use them.
I need that.
So you're going to join one of
Tell me what I'm going to do.
One of the monthly conversations that the NAACP holds in this space. So I would encourage folks at this time to visit NAACP.org, look for the ACE, ACE, Your Health Initiative, to get tapped in and learn more about how you can actually be more empowered and have access to the tools you need that can help improve.
Thank you. So that is very good advice. I hope everybody listens to that. I am absolutely going to do it, because a lot of us are in a position now where we're caretakers for our parents and our grandparents, older cousins like me, and we are going to be in a position where we're going to be making some critical decisions, and the access to information and knowledge and technology is key and critical. Tanisha Sullivan, Jamal Watkins, guys, thank you so much. Appreciate you. Let's take a break here. We'll be right back broadcasting live from the NAACP National Convention. It's the Matt McGill Show.
More from Matt McGill coming up on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
In July, Vaughn TV has your summer watch list covered. Go behind the headlines with the official launch of Portraits in Color, featuring candid conversations with music executive Matthew Knowles, community leader Jotaka Edie, and actress Danielle Truitt.
My family's very proud. It was very cool to, when the show first came out and to see myself in those credits, with dun, 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 and be like, that's me. That's crazy, It is very cool to be a part of the legacy of Law & Order now.
And that's just the beginning. Premiering this month, Serenity, Strength, and Style with Sylvia Ewing and Friends, a fresh new series featuring inspiring conversations about health, wellness, creativity, and living life to the fullest. This July, there's something for everyone on Vaughn TV. Watch on Roku, Amazon Fire, Apple TV Plus, the WVON app, or at Vaughn.tv. Vaughn TV, for the culture, by the culture.
Girl, where have you been?
My laundry got backed up. I had so much laundry I felt like the help, but I found the truth.
You became a Jehovah's Witness?
I found Clean Break. For less than the price of a good meal, Clean Break washed and folded my clothes and had them smelling fresh the way I like.
It's gotta be inexpensive. You know all the hookups.
Darn Skippy. I wasn't about to pay no $100 for 2 bags of clothes, and I caught the WVON discount.
Girl, sign me up. I'm sold.
Try Clean Break today for just $25 per bag, including pickup and delivery. Call 708-980-7886 or visit cleanbreak.com. That's KLEANBREAK.com. Clean Break, fresh clothes, more free time. Get your weekends back.
So fresh and so clean, Break.
They call this one Bill.
Whoa, aliens? Am I in a spaceship?
Affirmative, Bill.
What's with the laser saw?
Relax. We are cutting our bill in half.
What?
An Xfinity mobile transmission says you can cut your bill in half.
Oh, your mobile bill, not me, Bill.
Ah. Xfinity Mobile also says we can try it free for a year. Free.
Yes, with no commitment. Can we put the saw away?
I am reluctant. But we will find another being to bisect.
That's not sci-fi. It's Xfinity Mobile. Xfinity Internet members cut your mobile bill in half. Plus, try Xfinity Mobile free for a year. No commitment. Learn more at xfinitymobile.com. Xfinity. Imagine that. Restrictions apply. Xfinity Internet required. Savings compares one line of Xfinity Mobile Select to comparable plans from T-Mobile, Verizon, and AT&T as of 3/24/26. Taxes, fees, extra. $30 monthly discount limited to new mobile customers only. After 12 months, regular rates apply.
Hey Alexa, play WVON 1690 AM.
Getting WVON 1690 AM station from iHeartRadio.
Try it out for yourself. America is listening to WVON. Now back to Matt McGill on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
Hey, Chicago, I'm Logan Page, and here's what's happening in your local and national news. NAACP President and CEO Derek Johnson joined WVON's Matt McGill and guest host Haley Vaughn to discuss the importance of supporting Black institutions and strengthening community leadership.
Well, I just gave my speech and I said, we all we have. So if we don't support each other, who else will? In this moment, we have to combine our resources to push back against an administration and a climate that's trying to erase our identity, our presence, and our ability to not only survive, but to prosper. And so we have to support all of our institutions. We have to get away from the scarcity mentality and lean into each other to empower each other.
Johnson also outlined what it will take to continue advancing civil rights and prevent the nation from repeating past injustices.
That's how we create history, not being reactive to the bad stuff. Because this administration, they're racist to the core. They don't care about the Constitution, and they would do away with anything that get in their way to maintain domination, control, and power. It is our job to navigate around that so we don't have this occurrence again. What we're witnessing is a set of individuals who are trying to put us in a box based on 1950. We're too big for that. We won't fit, and we must resist.
The discussion comes ahead of the organization's 117th annual convention. In other news, a family of 18-year-old Nolan Wells laid him to rest in Ocean Springs, Mississippi, as investigators continue looking into his death near Horn Island. Wells disappeared during a 4th of July boating trip, and his body was found 2 days later. Authorities have not confirmed signs of foul play, while autopsy results in the investigation remain ongoing. Reverend Al Sharpton delivered the eulogy during the funeral service, followed by a planned celebration of life. In other news, Hyundai is recalling nearly 48,000 Kona SUVs due to a defect involving the rear center seat belt buckle. The issue could prevent the buckle from properly restraining passengers during a crash. Owners are advised not to use a rear center seat until repairs are completed. The dealers will replace the buckle assembly free of charge. And Andrew and Tristan Tate are expected in a Miami courtroom following an extradition request from the United Kingdom. The brothers face charges including rape and sex trafficking, which they deny, and their attorney says they plan to fight the request. UK prosecutors say the alleged offenses were reported by 7 women and occurred between 2010 and 2017. I'm Logan Page, and that's what's happening in your news now on WVON 1690 AM.
It's Rufus Williams. The thrill of summer is finally here, which also means it'll be over before we know it. This fall, the Rufus Williams Travel Club is heading to Charleston, South Carolina, October 8th through the 12th. Join me as we experience the beauty, the brilliance, and the culture of one of America's most captivating cities. We'll enjoy the charm of the Lowcountry, breathtaking scenery, incredible cuisine, and the rich African-American history of Charleston. There will also be a few special surprises designed just for our group. So whether you're traveling alone, with family, or with friends, you'll be welcomed into an unforgettable experience filled with great people and great memories. Space is limited, and the best rates are right now. Simply go to WVON.com, click on the Rufus Williams Travel Club banner, and reserve your space. Advantage International is the official travel partner of the Rufus Williams Travel Club. Charleston, South Carolina, October 8th through the 12th. Travel with people, travel with purpose, travel with us.
Shop small with Wintrust Bank and celebrate the heart of our community, our local businesses. Listen as we share a list of small businesses throughout our community that we can shop, dine, and support throughout the year. These businesses are the economic engine that drives our neighborhoods. Wintrust knows that. That's why they're Chicago's bank and why they're encouraging you to shop local. Keep listening for the Wintrust Community Business Spotlight campaign. With Wintrust, shopping small is a big deal.
I was having a medical procedure, and I wanted to ensure my kids would get my home should something happen to me. I called attorney Ted London. He provided a land trust and power of attorney. Now my kids will not have to go through the probate process.
After the death of my husband, I had to get my affairs in order. I called attorney Ted London. Now my family and home will not have to go through the probate process.
773-721-3333. Now back to Matt McGill on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
I am moving in the right direction. I don't mind. No correction, cause I'm trying to reach perfection. I can't turn. No, I can't turn around. Oh, yeah. I'm moving in the right direction. I don't mind no correction, cause I'm trying to reach perfection. I can't turn. No. Let me tell you this. Sometimes I want to live and then I want to die. Walking left and I want to die.
All right, we're back, everybody. Broadcasting live from McCormick Place, our favorite convention center. Is it the only convention center in Chicago? No, it's the biggest one probably in the world. When you think about all this massive space, they have 7 buildings out here of convention space. This is why Chicago makes so much money off of convention business, guys. We have a lot of space out here to do a lot of shows. And you can do a lot of these shows at the same time. Haley Vaughn in the house hanging out with me. We got a couple of guests here that are going to help us talk about policy as we talk about the NAACP, of course, in this amazing celebration of this legacy institution. It celebrates Black excellence and Black relevance, making sure that young people and young voices are out here being heard as we discover these voices that are going to be our leaders of tomorrow. But a lot of what the NAACP do, in fact, I'm sure the founding mission of it was about having an impact on public policy, right? And of course, that policy around the rights of Black America, Black Americans, and equality. Here to help us talk about that a little bit is Patrice Willoughby, NAACP Chief of Policy, and Cedric Haynes, Senior VP of Policy as well. Welcome to WVON, guys.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
So kind of expound on what I started there and correct wherever I was wrong about. but absolutely expound on that for me.
Well, first of all, it's wonderful to be here in Chicago, and our convention annually is constitutionally mandated, but it gets to the heart of what we do as an organization, which is move public policy forward, focused on racial equity in ways that are going to benefit the Black community. And so we have over about 7,000 people registered, and we look forward to having our legislative session tomorrow, where we will chart out the legislative agenda for the next year.
I love it. Brother Cedric, what should people expect tomorrow? I mean, when you have a meeting of all of the brilliance that comes with a convention like this, and I'm talking about the people who all are bringing and representing Black America from all over the country, right? This issue of public policy can be very contentious. Is that a correct assumption I'm making there?
That's absolutely correct. I think what you can expect is a healthy debate. There are no shortage of issues that are affecting our communities right now. And this meeting that we're getting ready to have tomorrow, our resolutions process is how we get our house in order. So, a lot of people will come to us who are outside of the association and say, why don't you advocate for this? Or why are you advocating for that? But what everybody needs to realize about what makes tomorrow so important, and the reason why it's the only constitutionally mandated thing we're doing, is because this is how we get our collective house in order. Everybody who is a member of the association, who is a member of a unit that is in good standing, has a chance to say, hey, this is what is affecting my community right now. And that voice bubbles its way all the way up until tomorrow, where we all get a vote on it.
I remember when I bartended for years, and I was a member of the HEIRU International Union, the Hotel Employees Restaurant Employees International Union, right? And I used to always talk to our union rep around, and when the contract, we'd be going through this contracting process, and I would talk to the union rep and be like, hey, did you guys talk about 7 days, working 7 days in a row and getting, overtime, so they can't stop it in the middle of the week and say, no, at this day it starts, the count starts over. I would always be, and what about this, how many write-ups, and I think they're targeting people, da-da-da-da. And they would say to me, Matt, did you come to the meeting?
This is that meeting for us.
Right. Okay. Right. Exactly. Right. Matt, how are we going to know what's important to you if you don't come to the meeting? Right. And as much as this is about a celebration of the NAACP and the legacy and the history, it's about getting down to this business that you guys are going to be getting down to, right?
Absolutely. We have around 106 days before the midterm elections. And what you're talking about is representation. Representation is critical. Voting rights around the country are under attack. And it's really important that people vote, because the policymakers that make the laws have a direct impact on everyone's life. And this is our way of putting together our agenda so that we can tell those policymakers what's important for Black Americans, and importantly for everyone to have a say in it. And so voting is coming up soon. This helps us to put those two things together, the policy issues and the importance of voting.
Yeah, we had President Johnson on earlier, and we were talking, because I asked him about that. I was like, how are we, is it a challenge for us to get Black America focused on the power of voting? And because, there was some anti-voting energy years ago, right? Black politicians aren't doing anything. What's voting got us all these years? Look at where we are, right? That energy is out there. And sometimes we don't even realize that energy is well placed to get us to think that there's, and I always tell people on my show, I'm like, brother, if you don't think voting is important, why do you think they're trying to take all these rights away from you? If it wasn't that important, man, why is there such thing as voter suppression? Why are they talking about whatever Trump's bill is, the Save America Act and all this? Why do you think making voter harder, for us is an issue if it isn't so important? They wouldn't care if it wasn't important, right? And so I'm sure, as you were talking, and Brother Cedric as well, we really have to emphasize, because I know NAACP is nonpartisan, but you're not non-participating.
We're not blind.
Right. We got to participate in these elections, primaries, off-season elections, right? Off-year elections, right? Which we got right now, midterm that's coming up. Man, we got to be involved in it, because you know what I noticed in Chicago, other races, man, are focusing, new Americans, they focus on civics. And because we take voting for granted because we grew up in the city, but new Americans that come over here, man, look, they want to they want to learn voting. How do we do it? How long does it take me? That is where the game has changed, man. That's where public policy is, where changes for Black people historically have been made.
100%. And I think to your earlier point, I would flip it on its head and say, we see what not voting gets us, don't we? Right? And so connecting the dots is part of what our team does as well. And I think that also, to one of your earlier points, folks have really sort of forgotten or don't realize the sense of agency when it comes to participating in this process.
Right. No, I was saying get the mic closer.
Folks have sort of lost a sense of agency when it comes to participating in this process, right? And so when we have conversations with membership, you often will get something back like, hey, the price of gas is high, the price of groceries are high, my check doesn't go as far as it used to, my healthcare bill is higher than it used to be. But then if you don't recognize that your living conditions are tied to policies that are created by people, that there is a process for you to choose who represents you on these issues, I think that's where we lose. That's where we're losing folks. And so what we're trying to do right now is double down and renew the focus on being able to say the reason your living condition is the way it is because we aren't sending the right people to office to make these decisions.
Just like the example I was using with my union, though.
And it's something that we can never let up on, because I think to some degree we have made such great progress in this country, but that progress is extremely vulnerable.
Yeah.
And what we saw in past elections is that when voting drops off, and this is what opponents want, they want to discourage as many people from voting. But if you look precinct by precinct, ward by ward, and you have a drop off in people who vote, then that adds up. And so it's really critically important that people stay connected and stay engaged to exercise their vote, because your vote is your voice.
And so tomorrow, this meeting, people from all over the country, and is what we've been seeing in politics during this primary season. There's been an opening of more thought about politics. The Democratic Socialists have just, they have kind of opened up the tent a little more to say, hey, energy exists here, that representation, the big tent needs to exist now, if more than ever, probably. It's going to be fascinating.
That's right. That's exactly right. But that's why tomorrow is so important as well. There's a spectrum of ideas on how we fix whatever issue it is we're talking about, whether it be education, whether it be healthcare, and those perspectives exist inside of our own association, right? We're not a monolith. So tomorrow is so great because healthy debate and robust debate really creates good policy.
Yep.
And so those debates are going to happen for us internally, and where there is consensus, those are the things that we'll be advocating for next year.
Well, Cedric, go ahead, Patrice.
And I want to, emphasize that as democracy is messy, things are never easy.
That's right.
This is the thing that people have to keep in mind. Every good policy results because of compromise and consistency. People have to have an idea and continue to work it by understanding the levers of government and how to work these processes to the benefit of our communities.
That's Patrice Willoughby, NAACP Chief of Policy. Cedric Haynes, Senior VP of Policy. Love you, brothers. And my sister. Thank you for coming. Love this moment that we're in. And good luck tomorrow. And I know the work that you guys put in tomorrow is going to benefit us all. I appreciate it very much.
Thanks for having us.
All right, let's take a break. We'll be right back to wrap up the show right after this.
More from Matt McGill coming up on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
Tuned in to your favorite WVON personalities on Facebook Live? Don't just watch, like it, love it, share it. Every click helps us grow the conversation and keep the community strong. So remember, like it, love it, share it, Chicago.
Shop small with Wintrust Bank and celebrate the heart of our community, our local businesses. Listen as we share a list of small businesses throughout our community that we can shop, dine, and support throughout the year. These businesses are the economic engine that drives our neighborhoods. Wintrust knows that. That's why they're Chicago's bank and why they're encouraging you to shop local. Keep listening for the Wintrust Community Business Spotlight campaign. With Wintrust, shopping small is a big deal.
The American Heart Association is committed to being a relentless force for a world of longer, healthier lives, so survivors like Pam Morris-Walton can have more time to celebrate personal and professional milestones with the people they love.
Pam Morris-Walton here. Family, I am a heart survivor and I am loving life. I want you to be a survivor too. Some of the ways you can protect your heart from heart disease is by eating right, exercising, even walking or riding a bike. Watch your blood pressure, stop stressing out, and pay attention to your body. If something feels wrong, do not ignore it. Let your doctor know. The American Heart Association and I want you to live a long and healthy life, don't you?
Learn more about how to maintain a healthy heart and possible signs of heart disease. Visit the American Heart Association at heart.org. That's heart.org.
Hey, Alexa, play WVON 1690 AM.
Getting WVON 1690 AM station from iHeartRadio.
Try it out for yourself. America is listening to WVON. Now back to Matt McGill on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
All right, we're back at the 117th NAACP convention here with two women who we have been waiting all day to speak with.
Okay.
Kiera Dooms and Amber Turner, scientists behind the Artemis 2. They are here with NASA. Ladies, welcome.
Hello, thanks for having us.
So now, you know, all the excitement around Artemis 2, right? Obviously, the entire country was like, you know, focused on this mission. And, you know, there's always like, you know, now there's a concern here at this moment here. They're re-entering the atmosphere, you know, and it's always, is that fear, like for us as, you know, amateurs that don't know space, is it greater with us than it is with you? Or are you guys a little more like, hey, this is serious business? Because, you know, we're all gripped to the TV like, are they going to be all right? Or are you guys like, we got this. This is what we do.
No, definitely space exploration is dangerous, and there is a massive amount of respect for the crew to have gone into deep space in the pursuit of science and exploration, considering how dangerous it is. And actually, during this mission, the Orion heat shield was a big concern. And so it was actually re-entry where we were all literally in mission control in the science evaluation room, holding hands and holding our breath. And once they splashed down, like we cried because our friends were home. And yeah, so it is scary and it's palpable.
Yeah, absolutely echoing what Amber said, but the public should realize we have a whole team of science and engineers who know the exact risks that the crew are taking and the risk on the vehicle. And we decide, like as a collective, whether we're going to accept the risk or whether this is too much. So we all went into the mission with an understanding of the risk profile, and it's like the levels that we can tolerate. So we were not concerned that anything would go wrong because we were very confident in all the pre-work that we had did. However, just like any other person watching a crew come back in a big ball of flame is very nerve-wracking. And like Amber said, we were all like clutching our pearls, waiting for the crew to come down safely.
Speaking of, talking about this team of scientists, right? The people who are in the room, who are responsible for the success, the safety, and everything in between of these missions. Oftentimes it's the space crew that is actually taking flight that gets a lot of public facing recognition. And we were saying earlier how exciting and important it is that we have you all here today, behind the scenes team, but one Black women scientist, such a big deal. Full circle moment when we think about the legacy of the NAACP. What does it mean to you all to be recognized publicly and honored for the work that you're doing that people often don't see?
Yeah, if you don't mind, I'll take that one. Yes, so it means so much to us just to be able to get this recognition. I can recall a very specific moment a few months before the mission where me and Amber were really bonding over the fact that we're the only ones that look like ourselves. And we were just like really venting to each other. Like, we see so many people getting recognition, and every day we are putting in so much hard work and we are getting like absolutely nothing for it. So to be here and to be talking about NASA with you all is really the full circle moment for me.
Yeah, it's unreal. We've kind of been in our own space bubble, as Kiara mentioned, like kind of bonding over the fact that we are the only ones like us. And we didn't realize we needed some soul food. We didn't realize we needed to come home. And to be in the room yesterday with so many people who truly loved us and supported us, like I got overwhelmed. So like it was much needed for us. And I'm just thankful to be here.
That's incredible.
So let's so now honestly, did you guys in high school, were you guys nerds?
Oh man, call me out. Yes, I was a nerd.
Wait, that depends on your definition, Matt, right? What do you mean by that?
By all definitions, I was a nerdy kid. I was in the chess club. Like, I was a scholar, straight A student. I didn't want to do anything but do homework and work. Yeah, I was definitely a nerd.
I was a nerd. I was definitely, I did Key Club. I did National Honor Society. I did the Reserve Officer Training Corps. I was an Air Force ROTC nerd. I highly encourage nerdism.
Yeah, I think that this is something that especially a more younger generations, right? Millennials, Gen Z, right? We talk a lot about even like we look at someone like Issa Rae that started with, awkward Black girl, right? But whatever those definitions, those labels that get used, it is important that Black girls, right, who are students at young ages see themselves in these high achievement moments where it doesn't matter, right? We encourage academic achievement. We encourage you to be different, take up a niche interest, and it can bring you so much success and legacy here that has certainly paid off. And it's important that young girls identify and know that it's possible for them too.
Absolutely. I would say, as someone who's been called Four Eyes their whole life, I always felt like the awkward Black girl, and being able to embrace it and come out as my true self every day. I am the nerdy Black girl, and people love me for it.
Yeah.
It's completely amazing.
And it's badass.
Thank you.
You know who probably is the most. I wonder if she would consider herself a nerd or had been a nerd, but my guess is that she was Michelle Obama.
Oh, definitely.
Obama,
I love me some Michelle.
That paid off a little bit, didn't it? Now?
Right, the blueprint of success, academic achievement, doing things, marching to the beat of your own drum. Like, these are things that we want to see more young women doing.
Absolutely, and I kind of want to speak to the young girls and boys who are, part of the socioeconomic issues that we are facing in this country. And, as someone who comes from humble beginnings myself, I want people to know that, of course, like, academic achievement is important, but sometimes life catches up with you and you might have to retake a class. You might be under too much pressure. You might be working full time while you're going to school like I was, and you're not less of a person because you don't have straight A's on your report card like some of your other classmates who have that support. and to just keep going, keep pushing, and that there's hope on the other side, even if you are part of the statistics.
Yeah. And you can make it all the way to NASA.
You can. You absolutely can. You can.
Let me ask you now: Are you guys? Because I guess I was about to ask a stupid question. Because you guys are not astronauts, right? You guys have your role, and you are behind the scenes. And astronauts are kind of like the stars that get all the attention and stuff, right? But it's a team effort, so you need both in order to have. Now, I understand you're from Chicago, Amber.
I spent some of my childhood in Chicago, so if you're going to quiz me on Chicago.
All right, I was. What's your story?
Well, I was born in Mercy Hospital. Spent some time on 71st and Yates. My mom is from 82nd and Essex. I went to Niños Heroes Elementary School.
Wait, what's your mama's name? No, I'm playing. I know your mama, girl. 82nd? No, I'm playing.
Exactly.
And then where'd you left Chicago and went where?
We left Chicago and went to Las Vegas.
Okay. All right.
Quite a difference.
Okay.
Yeah,
If you're going to leave Chicago, you might as well. Kiara, where you from?
From south side of Houston. So
Okay.
South Park and 3rd Ward, home of Beyonce.
Okay. All right.
Yes, very proud.
Well, guys, congratulations. Thanks so much for coming on the show. You're absolutely amazing. I hope we stay in touch with you guys to come back on the show. A special thanks to the Book Joint for providing us with some of our guests today. The Book Joint, Black-owned bookstore. All you young Black nerds out there, go to the Book Joint, 6900 South Stony Island Avenue, and please support them. Black-owned bookstores need to exist for obvious reasons. Haley, thanks coming out today. Yeah, it was a good time, and thanks to the NAACP. Guys, they'll be going on tomorrow and until Wednesday. Get out here and support the NAACP. That's all I got for you. Love you guys to pieces. Share the show on Facebook Live. Don't go anywhere. LaDonna's coming up next. You're listening to your favorite radio station, WVON.
Let's keep good vibes for the rest of the week, Chicago. I'm Logan Page, and here are your news headlines. Terrell Carter discusses new memoir and NAACP convention. Sky loses to Dream at the buzzer in Atlanta. Gas prices rising again as Iran war escalates. And frequent TV watching may harm long-term brain health. National news from the Black Information Network is up next on Chicago's only urban talk radio station, 1690 AM WVON, Berwyn, Chicago.
PIN News Now. Energy Secretary Chris Wright says U.S. operations against Iran will continue until President Trump's objectives are met.
The president is always looking for the diplomatic off-ramp. President Trump wants to end it with a peaceful agreement with Iran, but it takes two parties to do that.
Speaking on